Reverb Experiment, episode number 30.
30.
Hey, we is dirty 30 today.
Yeah, we BJ, Photo B.
Hey. It's me, a photo.
All right. So today we're not going to play no games with y'all. We're going to just get right into the episode.
Let's do it.
So today we got a lot to talk about. A lot of people have been asking for this episode. A lot of people have been talking about it and asking us to get somebody on here.
I'm very excited
to talk about financial literacy. So we are going to definitely get into that for the chunk of the episode. But we are also going to talk about Bill Cosby. Whether he's innocent or not. We are also going to talk about
Innocence is relative.
I don't know. We're going to see. We're also going to talk about Stephen A. Smith's controversial tweets and comments. And we are also going to make sure that we get to Rajeo's trash list that may surprise you.
Yeah. We need to go ahead and hit Kwame Brown for that Stephen A. Segment.
Mama's cooking, huh?
Mama's cooking.
All right. So before we get into the episode, we want to just thank everybody for listening, supporting, liking, commenting. Our YouTube is blowing up. Our Instagram's blowing up.
Nice.
Facebook is growing up. So we want to just thank everybody and their support. It's summertime. People outside. People vaccinated. People ready to get it popping. You know what I'm saying?
Outside.
I'm in the streets, bruh.
Man.
Yeah, we see
Welcome.
I'm in the
We see
streets.
you dropping off the cakes.
All the cakes.
That Back to the Street song been getting played.
She for the streets.
For real. You know them streams done went up.
All right. So, again, like I told y'all, man, we ain't one of those podcasts where you got a whole bunch of ads at the beginning and we wait till we get to the episode. We want to just get right on into it because we have a special guest that is with us today. And let me just make sure I get her up and popping right quick. Hold on 1 second.
Let's look at these eyebrows.
All right. So, on today's episode, we want to introduce and we want to make sure that we give all the respect and all the honor to our guest today. Her name is Destiny Fortier. She is a full-time investor who has retired from the 9-to-5 corporate lifestyle at the age of 30.
What you say?
Retired at the age of 30.
What you say?
She now spends her time investing in things that she loves, including private, small businesses, publicly traded companies in emerging markets, and she is passionate about educating people of all ages in financial literacy and revealing business opportunities to entrepreneurs. Let's give her
Sounds like a superhero.
Hey now.
Sounds like a superhero. She speaks my love language, obviously, investing.
Money.
Well, welcome, Destiny. How are you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm so good. I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. I think your thumb was on the audio.
It probably was. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you in the middle so that way you can hear from everybody. Here we go.
Perfect. Hey, everyone.
What's poppin'?
Hey.
I'm so honored to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Rob, and shout out to Reverb Podcast. You guys are hilarious.
Thank you.
We do what we
for
can.
It's
coming.
mostly Photo B.
Jokes.
And thank you for checking in with us. You know that you're all the way from LA, so showing some LA love out here. Some
That's
California
dope.
love.
That's what you do when you retire at 30. You move to Beverly Hills.
You feel me? Trying to be like you when I grow up.
And she's originally from Stockton. That's a glow.
That is a glow.
That's a glow up.
Sheesh. The definition of a glow.
The glow.
Y'all not gonna do Stockton like
We're not
that.
gonna
Yes,
do
we
Not
are.
too not too much on Stockton.
Look, Stockton are getting to themselves.
He said Stockton do it to himself. Hey, Stockton, we love y'all. We just
Stockton, we love
we
y'all.
just not gonna visit.
Many-
Okay. if we got any listeners in Stockton, we love y'all.
Yeah, meet us in Tracy.
Hey, meet us at Lodi at the winery.
Mini Oakland. Well,
You said meet in Oakland?
I said mini Oakland.
crying.
That's what he
Oh,
called.
I'm sorry.
So since we talking about Stockton, we might as well. So, Destiny, can you? Because I know me and you talked off air. Can you tell us just where you come? Because we're talking about laughing about Stockton. There's people that are listening that are not from California, don't know anything about Stockton. Can you just kind of tell us kind of like where you come from? So
209.
So in order for people to fully understand, who you are, what you stand for, can you just kind of tell us where you come from and your kind of background?
Yeah, so Stockton, I'm receiving all the jokes because I understand Stockton has a rep. And so basically, small city right outside of Sacramento, super small. There's like one theater. There used to be a roller rink, but they closed it. everybody knows each other, and it was on the top 10 violent cities for years after years after years. Shout out to Michael Tubbs. He was the mayor a few years ago. He kind of reversed the image of Stockton and brought the brand back to its surface and kind of gave it its name back. But basically, it's a really small town, and there's a lot of violence. So I grew up there. However, I had my own little haven in my family. I was raised as the youngest sibling of 4 sisters in a single parent home. My mother was a teacher. She still is a teacher. Shout out to my mom. So you can imagine that financially we, had a lot of hardships. And so growing up, I had to sell beef jerky and Otter Pops just in order to get lunch money. We were on reduced lunch. And so from a young age, I was able to learn quickly the importance of exchanging things for value and how to make your money grow. I'm extremely grateful for that experience. And yeah, but I did go to school. I did go to the IB program. I graduated from Franklin High School. Shout out Franklin.
Hey.
And
Franklin get to it too, though.
And I went to UCLA, graduated in 2012. Shout out to my Bruins. And I've been in LA. And, I'm just blessed and honored.
From the 209 to the 818.
That's what's up.
Yep.
All right.
I went to Cal. We might be sworn enemies.
Feel away.
USC too. We don't like them either.
Damn, bro, you got a bone to pick with everybody, don't you?
It's college beef.
Okay.
You're supposed to have that.
Still?
It's natural.
No.
Yes, I went to Grant.
It's
I don't like
healthy.
any other high school.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right.
Dang.
So obviously from an early age, it sounds like that financial literacy was something that you had to kind of learn on your own, and you kind of had to make it, hustle to kind of get to where you got to. So
That's dope.
that is dope. That is a dope story, and not too many of us can say that we retired at 30. So we're gonna get into how you got there, but first, obviously, since you are a very known investor that you were featured on Fox LA and CNBC Business, can you tell us how did you get into investing, and would you mind breaking down some of the different types of investments that you have dabbled in?
Yeah, definitely. So how I got into investing. So I was working a 9 to 5 straight out of college. Luckily, I was blessed to get that job. And the salary was actually decent. I think the cost of living in LA is kind of ridiculous. So now, 10 years ago, it was still ridiculous. But I had a good job. I had a decent salary, but I was still broke. And I'm like, why am I still broke if I'm getting paid more than what people would expect me to get paid? I was getting paid $48K out of college, which people say you shouldn't even be getting paid $40K out of college, which is crazy to me because it's still the case. But anyways, so I was like, why am I broke? And I had a lot of time at my job to just be on my computer at my desk. So I was just on YouTube, like, how do I create wealth? How do I get money? And everything that popped up was about real estate and stocks. For me, living in LA, like I said, real estate seemed far-fetched at the time. So I was like, well, let me just look into stocks and see what this is about. And so I went down that rabbit hole on what I like to call YouTube University. And I just studied, I studied everything, my groups. Just, as you go down the rabbit hole, you find different opportunities to learn. And I invest myself before I invested my real money. And then I played on there's the app called a virtual market. Now they have Webull where you can do what's called paper trading. So you can play on the real market with fake money, just to kind of get that hands-on experience and learn from your mistakes before you actually play with your real money. So I did that, and then I started trading, and I started learning from my mistakes, and I got lucky a few times. I had to learn a lot of expensive lessons a few times, but over time, you get better and better. And it's a skill that you have that builds your confidence and really makes you feel like no matter what happens in this life, like you're good, So that's.
I have a quick question because I know the experience of like you say the loss, because a lot of people they love the winning story. If you don't mind, I'll tell you mine first to see if it makes you comfortable. But my biggest loss in investing was $10,000 when I first started. So, what was your biggest loss that really made you? Or I won't ask the exact value, but what was the loss that really helped you to understand the game?
I think it was like 5 years ago. I had gotten $25,000 overnight, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And something about when you make that money is like psychologically, it just makes you want to make more. Like, oh my God, sky's the limit. And so I immediately lost like 50% of that, like that throughout that month. And it actually, like, when you lose that much money, you have a choice. Like, you can either learn the value of the lesson and keep going, or you could be and kind of just like not want to learn anymore and just say you're a failure and not continue. But this is like a cut dry industry. Like, you make what you make of it. Like, your education and your experience and your application of your knowledge is what will make or break your profit. And so there's going to be a lot of hard lessons and expensive lessons. I think the best way to shortcut past those expensive lessons is to educate yourself so much and just take the time. Like, don't rush into this. There's new opportunities every single day that are so random. Like, oh, AMC, that's so random.
G Focus is
like,
the AMC king. Man. He is the AMC king. He's shorting the hell out of those guys.
Oh no, I ain't shorting nobody.
Oh, he's profiting the hell out of those guys.
Yeah, I ain't shorting. I don't want them, the ape community, coming after me talking about shorting.
But just there's opportunities like this all the time, just throughout time. So just release that pressure and just take the time to really learn, so you don't have to have those expensive lessons. But they are valuable.
Yeah, I think I think those lessons, for me, that lesson came. It taught me emotional intelligence, which is one of the things that they don't really teach you, that you can't learn from a book. I think those are things that you really just have to. For me, I had to experience, because I did the same route. I went to YouTube University, and then I went to my friends in accountant university. And, you know what I'm saying? I talked to all these different guys, or my homeboys at CPA University. I took all these, and I had these groups, but I didn't think I really understood like the value of what I was doing until I lost that money. And then after that, it really made me kind of stone-faced when I was investing. And so when I made a decision, I was like, this is the decision. I'm going with it.
Right.
Move smarter, basically.
No, because you have to take for me, myself, some people are emotional investors and they win. But if I'm emotional and I start looking at like, oh man, I'm down, I can't handle that. So I had to make the decision, like, even if I'm down, I have to ride the wave till the market does what I need to do.
Well, you know what, and it's funny that we actually had a similar conversation off air. I think we'll probably have that conversation more in depth on Tuesday. Yeah. But we were talking about the emotional side of trading and the psychology part of trading, which actually Destiny went to school for psychology, so she already had a leg up while, before she was investing. But
so she had the cheat code.
She had a cheat code for sure.
Down, left, right, ABBA.
And I think as a trader, which is why I think what she's saying is a very good point. Start paper trading first, because then you kind of learn the emotions of it. Because it's once you do it live, that's your real money.
Yes,
and
that's a fact, bro. That hurt.
If you're not convicted about your trade, then you are definitely going to end up probably selling when you feel the emotion, and then it's going to pop back up, and then you're going to feel bad that most people usually they'll sell too early. Then they'll buy back in because they fear that they're going to miss out when it goes back up, and then they lose again.
And that was me with Dogcoin.
Yeah, emotional.
Yeah.
Boy,
emotional. He had less than 4 cents.
Bruh, I had 20,000 units at a point.
Emotional.
Yeah. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned is about risk management. Like, there's a thing called stop losses, y'all.
Yep.
There's a thing called deciding beforehand how much you're willing to lose, what percentage you're willing to lose, and set that into the system so that no matter what, even if you're not paying attention at that moment, you're protected. So that's as you get educated about what things you can do, like, this is why you need to take the time to really learn about all the options before you just jump in.
Exactly. So while you're talking about that, before I get to the second part of that question, for the people that are listening that aren't aware of trading, what is a stop loss? Can you explain that, so that way, because there's people that are trading that don't know what that is.
That's crazy at this point.
So I know I didn't even know what it was for the first couple years, which is crazy. But basically, okay, so I'll just give a live example. Let's say I invest in Nike, and costs $10, which it doesn't, but I'm just giving an example.
Right.
And I'm investing long term. And so I say I just want to put it in there. But if Nike ever hit, let's say my percentage of loss is like 10%, so that's $1. Mm-hmm. If Nike ever $9, I can put an order in the system saying automatically, if Nike ever hits $9, just sell my shares and just give me back my $9. Not my loss, it's just that $1. That's a stop loss. So you can set it according to the amount, you can set it according to the percentage, but it's just up to you deciding how much you're willing to risk.
Got it. So for those that are listening, that is a great tool to, like what she's saying, is if you have an appetite, or if, again, you want to manage your risk. Let's say you have $1,000 and you say that I'm not willing, because if you don't have a stop loss, if it keeps dropping, then you're going to lose all your money. So if you say, like, either I want a stop loss limit at 10% or stop loss limit at, what the example she said, at $9, then at $9 you would still keep your 900 and you would only lose 100, instead of, if it slipped and dropped down to $7 or $6, then you would have lost $300, $400 instead of the original 100 that you were willing to lose. So it's a way to keep your emotions in check, to know that no matter what, the maximum loss that I can take in this trade would be $100 or 10%.
Exactly. And I think what happened in 2008 with that crash is a lot did not have stuff, and they lost everything. I think that's what happened. And so that's why I really prioritize when people say, what are the rules? That's one of my top 5 rules, is set a stop loss, like regardless. Like sometimes people get set a stop loss and then it bounces right back. But it's just like, at the end of the day, you can always buy it back in, but you know that you're protected. You have that peace of mind. You can sleep at night and not be obsessively looking in the phone at your stock.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
And I think that's a general good rule to use, except for if you're in like a highly volatile stock, because then depending on what you put it at, then it can lose a lot. So
a lot of people got killed. I think I learned that lesson. A lot of people learned the lesson recently in Genius Brands. Remember how everybody was chasing Genius?
Yep.
And it ran good for a little bit,
but then it dropped.
Oh my gosh! And then it
triggered a lot of stop loss.
Oh my! I made a little bit of money. I made a little bit of money out of it, but I know people right now that are still like a negative 7,000, 8,000 in Genius.
Well, you know what, and I think that then that goes into the emotion of it, because then when you lose,
sold.
then now you're chasing to try to make that back up again.
Oh yeah, because you know what you're taught online is, when you don't have the practical experience, they always tell you to average down, and then you be averaging down, and then they're like, I'm gonna show you.
Or you try to make it up. I'm saying, and you can't chase it. So
what is Genius at right now?
$1.76.
Man, you remember when it was like $9, $10?
Yeah, it was pushing 10.
Oh my
god. So Destiny, the second part of that question was, what investments are you currently partaking in?
Okay, this is a loaded question because I like to mix it up. So what I would say for first-time investors, definitely, if you want to be safe, which is usually how you start, definitely stick to value stocks. So things like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, VOO, those are solid investments if you just want to put your money in and not look at it. I would also say wait until the market kind of dips a bit. I think next year there will be a little bit of a softer crash due to the Warren Buffett indicator.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Before we go any further, we are not financial advisors.
Yeah.
And we are not giving financial advice.
She's a psychologist. Who happens to do financial?
No, because I don't want
Don't talk
nobody
to her when you lose your money.
I don't want nobody on the YouTube page talking about
the Reverb said
to invest in Genius. And Rajeo made me lose $10,000.
Please do not invest in Genius. Please do not invest in Genius.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Matthews.
Because I don't want to get caught up either. Like, don't come for me if some stuff happens. But I do know that those value stocks are just here to stay. And it's always better to buy on the dip. And so that's one thing. I'm a little bit of a risky nut.
Me too.
I love the growth sector. I love emerging markets. So anything cannabis, AI robotics, space exploration, crypto,
electric vehicle, all those.
I know it's crazy because those are the stocks that are getting attacked the most right now. But I think it's almost like Amazon back in like 2000, whatever, when it was emerging. That's what's happening in this market, and I'm really excited about it. So, but it's like you got to set it and forget it. Like, just
you see that smile on her face? Because she knows. She knows.
I'm so excited. But you just got to set it and forget it, and like just buy on the dip because it's getting so attacked.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what? Every time I think about the dip, I think about Soros.
Who?
Soros with the market manipulation and Amazon and in the real estate market. And so when we're looking at the FUD that's going on right now, I think about like how they manipulate the market, and institutions are buying all the crypto, they're buying all the EV, they're buying all the AI. And
can we talk about?
What was that?
I said, can we talk about it?
Yeah. I mean, so one of my tricks, and I want to know what you subscribe to for your information, because one of my key things that I like to read is Forbes, because that's where all the money goes. So I've been really fortunate to invest by subscribing into Forbes magazine. But like, what are your, not just what do you invest in, but like where do you get your information from? I think.
Okay, several. I think it's important to be a student at life, so always being willing to learn, regardless from who it's from. So one thing I do is I go on openinsider.com. You can kind of see who's doing insider trading. Like, you can see what CEOs and COOs and CFOs are buying into their company. You can also see like what political players are kind of where they're investing. So that's one thing I do. I don't really subscribe to like businesses so much, but I do subscribe to people in different groups. So I'm in several different groups of like-minded people who we all do our own research and kind of bring to the table different ideas. One person I really love is the Master Investor. He's on Instagram. He's a Black man.
I follow him.
Yes, Ian Dunlap. That's my brother. I love him. He's excellent at what he does. He's very good at predicting the market. So I would suggest, if you're a new trader, to follow him. But yeah, as far as like following businesses, like I do check different websites. I'm always on Yahoo Finance. I'm always on StockTwits. I'm always on Reddit, which is hilarious. But as far as like Forbes, I don't really subscribe to Forbes.
So then, because that actually kind of ties into the next question. Sorry. So no, it was a perfect segue. So with retail investing becoming so popular, especially during the pandemic, so for beginning investors, obviously it's pretty difficult to figure out what to invest in, right? Obviously the Amazons and the Nikes, those are blue chip stocks that maybe a little bit easier. But for you, how do you pick what stocks or what crypto or what kind of things to invest in, and what indicators do you use while you're trading? Because a lot of times these people are, downloading Robinhood or, some of these apps, and they've never seen a chart before. So how do you tell what is a good investment and what is a bad investment? And, kind of like, how do you determine what is a good stock or crypto to invest in if you're using all these different avenues to, kind of find information?
Okay. So my rule of thumb, and Warren Buffett says this too, is to invest in what you love. So I only like to stick to what I love. The benefit of doing that is that you pay closer attention to what's going on with that company, and just naturally you learn more about what is a white paper, what is an earnings statement, what products or services are they coming out with, why is that important? You just learn about the general market, things you should be paying attention to anyway. So I invest in what I love. As far as picking what I like to invest in, like I said earlier, personally, I like to go into kind of the growth market. That's really exciting for me. But I do know I also love to make money. So just investing in those blue chip stocks, I love that too. That's true. And then as far as like indicators, so for me, I'm kind of a mix of a long-term investor and a day trader when I see the opportunities. I don't really like to day trade every single day because it can be stressful. Okay. My peace of mind is important. But when I am day trading, I like to look for the stocks that have gapped up or down in the pre-market. So what that means is like, okay, so the regular market opens at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, closes at 1 p.m. Pacific time. In the pre-market, it's like about half an hour before the market opens. You can kind of see the activity of a stock. And so sometimes a stock will gap up like 15% or more in the pre-market. And so I usually look for those stocks. You can find them on Thinkorswim or Robinhood, or they'll kind of show which ones have the most activity. And then once you kind of pick out the stocks that have gapped up, you can look into which ones have the highest volume of traders, most activity, and which ones have the best news. And so I will pick those, and then whoever has the best news and the highest volume, I'll focus on those 1 or 2 stocks if I'm day trading, usually just one. And then then the market opens at 6:30. I never trade in the first 5 minutes at least, usually 10 minutes, but definitely the first 5 minutes. I want to see what's happening, like how are people feeling? Because when a stock gaps up like that, usually the people that have been invested in the stock for a long time, when they see that profit, they'll take their profit. So it might gap down a bit. And then once it hits the bottom, that's my opportunity to buy in. Now, the question is, how do I know when the bottom is? Because usually it'll dip and then it'll skyrocket because it has that news and that high volume.
Right.
So if I know when the dip is, I use VWAP, RSI, MACD. I combine those 3 things together. And when they are all aligned, I will click the buy button and I'll just sit and wait and watch until I take my profit for that day. So yeah, just those 3 things. They're a little complicated, but if you guys want to do your own research on the 3, VWAP, MACD, and RSI, those are really extremely important indicators that the way I trade, it's a very much a higher probability of success. I'm not going to say it's perfect because you never know. There's so many variables in trading. You just can't guarantee anything. But that for me has been working for 3 or 4 years now.
Right. And again, this is not financial advice. Those are only indicators to what may be happening on the chart. So, and I think that maybe we can go more in depth on Tuesday into what those mean and kind of what to look for. But
yeah, because those are heavyweight important.
No, they are. They are very, very important, and especially in what's going on today, where we're getting a lot of new investors in. Technical analysis is extremely important, and still again, is not a perfect tool, but it does give you a better indication on whether whether it's going to be a good trade or not. Because the bottom line is like what she's saying, you want to buy low and sell high. Yep. So, but how do you know what low is and how do you know what high is?
But also, too, you have to decide what kind of investor you're going to be. Because if you're going into whatever that is, I don't know what that is. But whatever the growth, you got to be able to know, if you want to be a long-term or short-term investor. Because if you're doing growth investing and you're getting in early, then chances are you're just going to be sit and wait.
You just wait, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So you need to know, you need to know what you want to do before you.
Exactly.
Before you make these decisions.
Exactly. Yep. That is a good point. That is an excellent point.
Absolutely. I think you guys are cutting out a little bit, maybe.
Are we? I think it was because that
Wi-Fi came out.
I think we're good.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. We're good. We're good. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at on the docket? Okay. So we talked about indicators. We talked about how to pick stocks. So you are obviously a riskier trader. So
she's a risky trader.
No, she's a risky trader. I am too.
I mean, if you day trade, you're definitely a risky trader, for sure.
I am go big or go home.
Facts. I like volume trading. I want to buy 5,000, 10,000 shares at a time.
No, I know how you trade. So, speaking of risk, obviously with risk there's fear.
Niggas with money.
So we spoke off air in great length about operating in love and not in fear. So can you elaborate on what that means to you and tell us that how that mentality has changed your life?
Yes, I love this question, and I've been trying to figure out how to explain without sounding Looney Tunes. So just bear with me when I try to explain this. Okay, so have y'all seen the movie Soul?
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Okay. When the girl, she's like, the little soul, she's like, Earth is ghetto. I don't even want to go. And then she comes to Earth and she eats the pizza and she's like, this is fire. And just is enjoying nature and just having a great time. She's like, this is great. So that scene like just sparked this idea of like, wow, when we pass to the other side, I don't know if we can eat food like that. I don't know if we can listen to music. I don't know if we can even go to locations on Earth that we haven't already been. You know what I mean? And so while we're here and we have access to our five senses, like we should really be thoroughly enjoying these things as if it's heaven on Earth. And just have the best food, listen to the best music, go to the best concerts, can't wait for concerts to come back, and just visit the most beautiful, unique places on Earth. And so just that mindset of just wanting to enjoy every day thoroughly, especially after 2020, you know, and 2021, okay, just wanting to enjoy life made me more present to, okay, how can I enjoy this life thoroughly? Because I'm having a lot of negative thoughts and I'm repeating a lot of negative patterns. So how can I not live in my own internal kind of hell? And so I realized like everything has a backdrop of either love or fear. And so fear is like, it's over impulsing. It takes over your body. It makes you stress. It makes you like, when you're living in the past and you're afraid about what happened in the past, you're in depression. When you're living in the future and you're worried about what could happen or worried about how to prevent the worst case scenario from happening, you're living in anxiety. But when you're present and you're living in the current, you're living in love. And that's where the most opportunities, that's where the most creative expression, that's God wants us to live, or the universe, whatever you believe in. That's where we're creators, and we're supposed to be creative and frolicking in our talents and our gifts and enjoying the gift of life that we've been giving. And so when we're constantly in fear, especially like in this society, we're born into fear. It's our natural survive. And what it was supposed to be was like just survive from predators like lions and stuff. But now it's like surviving at work, surviving with your family.
Lions and the predators.
That's extra'd out. Like, we're not supposed to be doing all that. We're supposed to be enjoying our life. So, and especially when you think about it, like the news, it's like 99% fear, and it's only gotten worse with COVID. But what happens is when the news is talking about all this fear, it puts you into a victim mindset, and it makes you just like obedient to like just listening to what they have to say so you can survive. You know what I mean? It takes away your creative mind. It takes away your hope and enjoyment of life. So I decided personally that I was no longer going to let fear rule over my life, and I was going to live in a vibration of love. And so what does that look like? That looks like waking up so grateful for just my situation, just the opportunities that I have just to live in this life in this time. Like, I would not have been able to be a slave, y'all, but just to live in this I would not survive. But just to be here now, I'm so grateful. And so just having gratitude, appreciation for life, happiness, joy, and excitement and curiosity about it has opened up the world. Like, when I was working my 9 to 5, I was desperately out of fear trying to figure out how to make money. I did Airbnb, I did drop shipping, I did a regular online business. Out of desperation, trying to compete with my peers or trying not to be broke again, like, you know. But once I shifted from a fear mindset of not trying to be broke to a love mindset of the universe is always working in my favor. God wants me to frolic. God wants me to express my gifts. I'm going to follow that direction. It's like a red carpet has been rolled out, and new opportunities come much faster, much easier, much cuter. It's really cute. The universe, like it's really cute. I went to go get salad the other day, ran into a friend who I didn't even know he lived over here, and at the end of the conversation, I had another source of income from him. Like, just like out of nowhere. That was really cute that we went to the same restaurant at the same day at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I want everyone to just challenge themselves to just live 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. Just any fears that come up in your mind, any negative thoughts, any repeated behaviors, any triggers that come up, just really sit with them and evaluate them. Figure out, is that fear in the backdrop of this? does that fear even belong to me, or is this somebody else's fear up on me?
Right.
And just decide to no longer let that rule you and shift your perspective into love. And I let the universe speak for itself. Like, I swear, like, it's so lit. And it's crazy for me to be saying this, especially at this time. Like, I just watched the news for the first time yesterday in a long time, and I was like, "Ooh, did y'all see the fire in the ocean? Like, it's crazy."
Oh yeah, I did see that. I seen that last night.
It's crazy. Like, I'm like, is that real? Like, but
I had to look it up.
Church folks will say it's the end times, y'all.
Sounds about right.
But guess what? Like, up until then, I'm going to enjoy every day, and I'm going to. What it does is it puts you into a creative mindset, so you can find creative solutions. If you're a solution-oriented person, like, imagine if everyone on Earth was no longer just repeating all the things that are negative on Earth that are happening and just living in that, and instead they all raised their level of consciousness into love, and they said, okay, this is the issue, and we detailed out the issue. We've talked enough about the issue to know all the details. How can we creatively find a solution where we don't have to rely on the government or big companies to save us? Like, we can actually use our tools, the internet, network across, like Issa Rae did, come together and find like a real solution that's can be enjoyable and spicy and fun, and like, you know, maybe save the earth, and like, you know, just let us like have a chance at this life, you know. But I'm really passionate about like waking people up and like getting out of this fear mentality, especially right now.
I can kind of tell. So, you into this one.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the beauty of being able to see things spiritually, psychologically, and then being able to understand it emotionally. And I think it comes with the level of living life and experience, because we talk about this often, the same thing that she's talking about. And it does. When you understand it, we all kind of just, you know how I am, man, start getting to bouncing in the seats and stuff, man. You just can't help it. It radiates off of you, and then life just kind of falls into what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's real.
I want to hear from Steph, because I know Steph is a real big advocate of not allowing fear or other people's fears to project
and it's hard
on
for
each
me
other.
because I do suffer from anxiety, so everything that she said was like hitting me in the chest. But it's real, like, as far as like what she was saying about we're naturally creators, especially women, like that's our essence. We are creators, so that's how we thrive. We thrive the most in a creative environments. And like she was saying, a 9 to 5 usually ain't that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, yes, we have to work, we have to make money, but I see so many of our people in this hustle mindset of grinding, no sleep, and pushing their bodies to the limit to be able to make $1. Basically, a lot of times it still be living check to check and not really be thriving. So like she was saying, as far as like letting that fear go and really being able to have creative solutions that are more than just running your body into the ground to survive.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
Let me add another element to it. I live in love as a gift to my ancestors because they fought and they died in order for us to have peace. And that includes peace of mind and equality, which the powers that be and the variables don't really allow for that. However, what I can do and what I can control is how I live. And I, as a gift to them, I'm saying, thank you for that. Like, got me here. And also, it's kind of like a death to the establishment who tries to keep us in fear. Like, you're not going to control me. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. I used to have really bad social anxiety, which was crippling every single day. Like you, I had anxiety every single day. It just ran my mind so much. It just is ridiculous. And if you don't have anxiety, maybe you can't really understand, but it just was overwhelming, the thoughts that I had. It was just, I wasn't able to go out unless I prepared for like a week at home, just self, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm cool for the day, I can do this. If people called me, is overwhelming. The fact that I'm on this podcast right now is a testament to stepping outside of fear and just letting love direct me and just being open to the opportunities that come and saying it's bigger than me. Because once you live in love and light, like I like to call it, other people see it. You don't even have to preach to them. Other people see it and they're, wait a minute, she's a little different. What's going on? Like, and you just open their mind up to whatever. So just leading by example, just living your life, just enjoying it, like, it's so impactful. And I want the masses to wake up so that we can actually find solutions. Because obviously up until this point, the government, big companies, they haven't. And we're just sitting here like, somebody's got to do it. We can do it.
Period.
Like, do it. We have the internet. We have access. We can do whatever we want.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
imagine getting our creative minds together and flowing. So
Hey, that you killed that
She's
answer.
preaching.
You murdered that answer.
She was talking about love at 11:11.
11 on the dot.
On the
You
dot.
murdered that answer.
Yep, I looked up at my phone and said it was 11:11. Look at you. Look at you. Timing is everything. Yeah, go ahead. Bask in that glow.
The manifest queen.
Mhm.
All right.
I mean, it's fire.
It is fire. So to piggyback on that conversation, because I think that it's just flowing. It's like it's like a perfect segue. So I did some research. CNN Business has reported that black women hold 90% less wealth than white men. So what obstacles or barriers have you encountered as a black woman on your journey to financial freedom?
I thought this question was so interesting that you would choose this, because if I'm being honest with you, and I'm gonna just shift our perspective real quick.
Sure.
And I know this is a real issue. I know it's real. The data is there, and I know people personally. I haven't had this issue personally, and that's because when I'm in stocks, don't nobody care if you're black or white.
Fact.
That's very true.
Don't nobody care if you're doing drop shipping or if you have an online business. You don't necessarily have to tell people you're black or white. You can if you choose, and you'll see how that goes. But the businesses that I've done, I haven't.
You see how that goes.
So that's just my perspective. However, I am grateful for people that have the perspective of, yes, I've experienced this, and these are the details of which I've experienced this. I would love for those people, instead of staying in almost like a victim mentality of, sucks, look how bad this sucks, everybody look at how bad this sucks. If we could generally level up our consciousness into, let's find a creative solution. Like, what is a creative solution around this where we don't have to rely on white people or the government, or like, how can we come together and hold accountability? If I just took like a moment to think, and like maybe one solution is like a third-party website that like shows everybody's salary, or like rates a company based on salaries if we can't really expose salaries, or just finding like a creative way to find a solution. But regardless, like I haven't personally had this issue. I've been very blessed, and I'm very grateful for that perspective. And I do hope that this type of issue changes quickly in the future. I do, because it's ridiculous at this point. Everybody knows black women hold it down. We do most of the work. What white men have is the audacity.
Okay.
And so that's what
Give her some change,
like,
It's got a whole lot of it.
They got a whole lot of. So if you're in a job and they're not paying you well, if you have to stay there for a bit until you find a better job that's going to respect your value, do that. Find somewhere else that's going to respect it, and believe that you can firmly, because the universe is working in your favor. And let's just change the narrative one at a time, or as a collective, if we can find a creative solution, let's do that. But
facts. Well,
I love the change. I love the perspective, because we talk about this a lot, is living victoriously versus living a victim mentality. Because really that mindset is really the foundation for how you move in your daily life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think there's levels to it. I think this kind of mirrors the conversation we had about the critical race theory.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not, and yeah, there are definitely people that do see the statistics and say, oh, well dang, like it's just rigged and I'm not going to win.
Yeah, it is.
But there's also people that look at the data and say, like what she's saying,
that don't apply
let's
to me.
find a solution to figure out, okay, how can we get around this problem to make it equal or fair for everybody? And I think that's where we're trying to get to, which, brings me to my next question, because you are very solution based, and that is one of the things that I love. I do not like talking about problems. I do acknowledge them, but then we have to find something to be able to fix it, or to try to equalize the playing field, because we all know that when it comes to finances, that it is not an equal playing field when it comes to capital, when it comes to investing, when it comes to access to the capital.
Well, it comes down to, again, the literacy of knowing, because I feel like a lot of times we start so far behind because we don't have that education.
Right.
So we get ourselves into so much debt right out the gate. And then once we get the information, it's like, okay, but I got all this debt. I can't, who's thinking about risk when you got hella debt?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what holds a lot of people back, because it's like, I want to invest, but I got to be able to pay my phone bill. I got, you know what I mean?
Right,
I got to pay off all these loans. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
and
that's the part of it too. But if we could stop that and nip that in the bud,
Right.
Well,
we're not starting out.
Well, a lot of that comes down to actually trying to figure out how you live it. A lot of people who can't invest are living for survival. They're going through day to day, like, look, I gotta get this money for this, for this, for this.
Exactly.
I can't risk that. I don't have enough leverage. I don't have enough cushion to risk. Right. I don't know when my next money is gonna come in.
Not only that, I owe everybody.
Exactly.
Well,
you know what I mean?
and that's the number one rule to investing is don't invest money that you don't have. So again, it's kind of a fear-based thing where I want to get into this market, but I can't because I'm fearful that if I lose it, then I'm already 5 steps behind. I'm going to be 10 steps behind because not only do I owe student loans, I owe this, I owe that, my credit shot, and then now I also lost the money that I was going to use to pay off the debt because I thought I can try to get ahead.
So do you suggest getting out of debt first, or?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I mean, nobody talks about that part though.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Because I be telling them, get out of debt.
Let's hear from Destiny. I want to hear what she thinks about that. When it comes to investing, obviously there's a way to leverage, but what do you think about that question?
I'm loving that question because I'm just listening like that is an amazing question. First of all, I think people underestimate the power of the universe, our angels, God listening to what we're saying. I think when you repeat those types of things, I'm in debt, I can never get this money, I can never do that. That's what comes into your life, and that's what scientifically we have a RAS. It's our reticular activating system, and so we receive a lot of information all day, but our brain decides what's important and what's relevant. And so if we're always deciding what's important to us is that we can't do something, we're going to stay in that mindset. We're going to stay in that low vibration. So I think the first step is very simple. It's just believing that there are possibilities and unlimited ways for us to receive money. The universe can do that. And I don't want you guys to be like, yeah, blah, blah. No, I'm dead serious. That's very real. Especially when you're low vibration, it comes much quicker and much easier and much cuter.
Oh, so yes.
So that's the second thing is, I if anybody's listening, I want to give you an opportunity now. There's a website called Trader2B, Trader, the number 2, the letter B.com. For those first-time investors who maybe don't have capital, but maybe you do have $500, you're willing to risk, willing to lose, or $1,000 or whatever. Basically, how it works is you go on their website, you buy into their program. With $500, they'll give you $25,000 of capital that you can invest on their platform. And basically, you get to take home 75% of your profits. They take 25%. And as long as you don't lose below a certain amount, your investment is safe. You can get your money back. So that's, if you put in $1,000, you get $100,000 in capital. You put in more, it can go up to $1 million. So this is a great way for you to actually have money to play with and actually make a profit and learn at the same time. So just erase that limited belief of I don't have enough money to invest. If you're willing to invest in education, willing to invest with $500 to $1,000, you have access to capital. Let go of that perspective.
Could you repeat that the name of that place again, please?
Yeah, it's called Trader2B. Trader, the number 2, the letter B.com. I will say it does require that you have a PC. If you have a Mac, you can download, I think it's called Basecamp or something, or Bootcamp or something. You can have a PC. It's a
real money's made on PC, guys.
Here we go.
Yeah, but
we ain't gonna have no Mac versus PC conversation, okay?
Sorry, Destiny. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. So yeah, there's just different opportunities for people, and I will also say, like, some people look at debt differently. Some people do what's called leveraging debt. A lot of wealthy white people, they leverage debt. If you think about Trump, he ain't got no money.
Okay.
He is in extreme debt. But guess what he did? He leveraged his debt. He has a couple businesses that maybe they make profit, maybe they don't, but he put himself in a position where he's necessary. I'm not saying copy that exact model, but there's different ways where you can leverage debt. So it's like, okay, how can I explain this? Basically, you want to pay your bills on time. You want to keep your credit score good. You want to, if you have a credit card, pay your bills on time. That's most important. Once they see that your credit score is good, they might be willing to give you a higher limit, right? Which means more debt, but you have more access to money. Use that money to build a business, create profit, pay off your credit cards every month, and then just go from there. That's called leveraging debt. That's called finding your own opportunity. You know what I mean? The most important thing there, though, is that you pay your bills on time. Pay your credit card bill on time. Right? Call your credit card company. Ask them, hey, do I have, can I increase my credit limit? They say yes, do that. Try to keep your credit balance under 30% to keep your credit score up. Invest in a business. Think of new opportunities for business. There's plenty of opportunity, especially right now, everywhere. There's plenty of opportunity for any type of business. Just really put your mind into what is needed. The greatest business people are the greatest servers. So what is needed? What kind of service is needed in this life right now?
Right.
Facts. Manifest, believe, operate in love, and live your life. Okay. Perfect. Online.
That part.
Yeah. So I think the general idea is just that there's opportunities out there, and just do your due diligence and do research, because there's programs and companies and somebody that's out there that you can gain some knowledge from or get the information from. So I think those were really good solutions for the questions that we asked. Now you have some very exciting solutions yourself that you are putting out into the marketplace. So can you just kind of give us some information on some of the projects that you have in the works in regards to financial literacy? And I know that you have a book too that you got coming out. So can you kind of share some of those things that are already out or that are coming for you?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you for that. Okay, so I have a website. It's called destinysays.com, destinysays.com. And basically all of my projects are up there now. So I do have a book. It's a children's book. It's called Money Rocks. So what are stocks? And it's basically like a Dr. Seuss style book talking about what stocks are and what general market rules are and how to invest and, things that kids definitely don't know right now. But I think I was so passionate about doing it because right now, if you ask an adult, especially in our community, about finance, they get stressed out. They don't even want to talk about it. They shut down. Thanks. But I think a lot of the people that are geniuses in different industries, like whether they're a musical genius or a mathematical genius, they usually had people around them at a young age that kind of taught them, or were artists around them, or were mathematical people around them that taught them at an early age. And so they just naturally were able to do it. What I want to do is do that for financial literacy for our youth. So just introducing them to different terms in the market, things like shares, stocks, buy low, sell high. What does that mean? Dividends, what is that? So in this book, there's a lot of general terms, and then there's illustrations to kind of cement that for these kids, like what those things are. So definitely check it out. If you go on my website, destinysays.com, look at the books tab, you'll see it listed there. And I'm so excited to write more books. And then, so the other thing I'm doing. So, how can I do this? Basically, I want to connect the investors with the entrepreneurs and create a whole new community that is set on improving this earth, improving our lifestyle. Right now, all the products have these crazy chemicals that are killing us, and we're just accepting it because we believe it's what we deserve, and that's what's marketed in front of us, and we just accept it. It's not okay with me, and I know that it's not okay with a lot of people. That our food for women, our tampons, our household products, baby powder, like a lot of this stuff is literally killing us. And you can go into the tangent of like why that is. But for now, I think it is long past due for us to raise the standards, raise the vibration of business practices. We already have models in European countries where there's chemicals they don't even allow, but we, for some reason, have not let it go. So what I want to do is connect investors who are on the same page, entrepreneurs who want to create a better world. I'm creating a platform now where I'm teaching about perspective and mentality, switching your perspective and mentality. That's 90% of what's important, because once you align into the universe, things come much quicker. Perspective Mentality, Business 101, Marketing 101. There's going to be resources on how to license, how to franchise, how to get business credit, how to file S Corp, C Corp, sole proprietorship. I'm getting, and what's crazy is I just came up with this business idea like a few weeks ago, and I already have 2 investing partners and 1 company that's interested in joining. And so it's just like the universe is working quickly. But anyways, so what I want, if you go to that website, if you're interested in joining before launch, if you want to learn about it firsthand, you can go to my website, destinysays.com, sign up as an investor or sign up as an entrepreneur, and stay tuned for the platform to come out. But yeah, that's what that's not even it. So it's an empowerment platform, and then it meets Shark Tank. So basically, once you have a 6-figure business idea, or you can prove that your business can be 6 figures, you can pitch your idea to our team of investors, kind of Shark Tank style, but not as like grimy.
Right.
And we'll exchange for equity, whatever your ask is. And if it meets, you'll have 2 chances to pitch your idea. And yeah, and what I also want to do is like have networking events. Can you imagine networking events with people on this higher vibration of investors and entrepreneurs trying to change the world? Like, that's lit.
Yeah.
So that's the big idea. Go ahead and check out the website, destinysays.com, and sign up if you're interested.
We might.
I'm gonna go sign up right
We might have to talk after the show and get a Sacramento networking party for the Reverb.
Yeah, it's time we take our power.
We could run the whole.
Or we could actually pitch on this $100,000 equity idea. I think we're worth that. Give us dollar sign.
I was gonna say a cold hard M. But I'll take 100K right now.
No, I'll take the M.
I love the perspective.
No, no, those are all great ideas. I think a lot of that is needed. I think the information, the escort. I have not seen. Every day I see black businesses asking, how do you file S Corp LLCs, things like that. So all that stuff is, and again, that's kind of where we're coming. We don't have the information readily available. So I'm glad that we're kind of getting to a point where people are understanding that and getting the information out there. So that way, then we can equal, again, just have it be an equal playing field. So we all have the same information and the same access to some of these things that we weren't given to as children because we were too busy trying to survive. So, before you go, because all of these have been great information. If there's anything,
this is loaded.
This is very loaded, and people are going to have to watch this episode probably 2 or 3 times just to kind of get the.
And also make sure that y'all tune in on Tuesday.
Yes.
For the live.
The live is going to be lit. Before you go, what are some valuable tips that you can give to those who would like to get into investing? Because I want to make sure that we hammer that home because. A lot of people are listening to this because they're obviously interested. So what are some valuable tips that you want to leave with them prior to ending the interview?
Absolutely. I think I've already said them, but I'll just reiterate.
Sure.
Low, sell high. That's the number 1 rule, but somehow we mess it up. Buy low. Okay. Invest in what you love so you learn faster. Never chase the hype. If you want to get into some type of hype situation, get in early. Don't get in late.
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
I learned that the hard way.
Okay. Invest in yourself before you put your real money out. And risk mitigation. Set stop losses, please, people. Decide before you go in how much you're willing to risk and how much you're willing to lose. And set those stop losses. Those are my top 5 for sure.
Beautiful interview. We don't Man, Destiny, everything that you dropped was all gems. We appreciate you coming on the Reverb Experiment podcast.
Yeah, this is dope.
We are gonna definitely. Hey, if you come back to Stockton or if you come back to Northern California, you're gonna have to hit us up and come be on the show.
Yeah,
I will. Back in August, so I'll definitely let you know when I'm back.
There we go.
We'll bring roses and hit her with the cheesecake.
Hey, you are on record. You're on record for saying
August.
that
Hey,
August.
said it. August.
So it's out there.
Okay.
We hitting you up.
It's in the universe.
It's in the universe.
Manifest this one.
Does Destiny know her destiny?
Yeah. So there's a game that we like to play with all of our guests. It's either one's gotta go or question of the day.
Yes.
So we decided to do question of the day. And I think it seemed like it was an easy question, but I thought about it. I was like, that's not really an easy question. So the question of the day is, if you had, or no, we're gonna say have, because we're gonna put it into existence.
Right.
If you have $100,000 to invest today, what market would you invest in and why? So we have 1, stock market, 2, real estate, 3, crypto, 4, start your own business.
Do I have to choose one?
You can only pick one, and you have to tell us why.
I'm going for it.
All right, I'm gonna go with crypto.
Yep.
I would go with crypto, which is crazy.
Nope.
I don't know. I think I might go with real estate. This is hard. I was gonna say crypto because there's a dip right now, and I believe it'll recover in August.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I'm gonna be safe and actually not, I'm gonna go with the safe investment. I'm gonna go into real estate, and let me tell you why. There's a lot of companies right now buying real estate, and it's marked up 20 to 50%. Basically, they don't want us to own any property. They want us to rent, and they want to hike up our rent prices for our life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important that we own property right now. And even though the market is really high, I don't like that. I would say getting into like quadruplexes
Mm-hmm.
or having multiple tenants in a property where, the mortgage is covered plus some.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's or even getting into tax liens. I don't know if y'all know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can go on.
Go ahead and talk that language.
That's a great investment.
It's
going
a
into
phenomenal investment.
that's great. So probably real estate. Actually, that's what I'll go with that.
Okay, real estate. I thought you were gonna stick with crypto,
No,
but that's a good answer. There isn't a bad answer.
What about you? Where you go?
Oh, it's hard. But I think I don't want to like.
I'm going real
Take it
estate.
safer.
I'm the safe. Y'all risky. I'm safe.
Call me Crypto Raji.
So hold on. So we got Destiny said real estate. Steph said real
I'm
estate.
safe with it.
I'm Crypto Raji because I'm going all in because I do so much research. I love the crypto market so much because if you look at it as a currency, then you miss what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
What you're really buying when you buy cryptocurrency is you're buying new technology and artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that growth market, when you start to understand and you do the research to see what each I hate that they call it currency.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that they call it cryptocurrency because it's absolutely misleading to what it really is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because most of these things you're not going to be able to spin and purchase, right?
Right.
So when you look at Bitcoin or when you look at these other things, it makes you feel as if it's going to be a tender or a fiat of some sort.
Right.
But what you're really looking at when you're buying cryptocurrency is you're buying the technology.
Right.
You're buying the contracts. You're buying the ledger. You're buying the smart. It's basically smart technology to expedite the world and go green.
Right.
I would do it there, just because for myself personally, I have enough income from so many different sources that I'll be able to sustain my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think overall, because I have enough real estate to liquidate and move around and do the stuff that I can right now,
Mm-hmm.
for me, the best bet would be crypto because I'm watching the manipulation, but I'm also watching all the institutions along with real estate. They're all buying everything up. I follow the money.
Got it. Photo B.
So up until just now.
Wait, she's laughing. Why are you laughing? That's what you thought, huh?
Yeah, that is. But people are scared, so whatever.
You're not scared. You ride the bulls.
I'm not, but I don't want to direct people, and then you just never know with crypto.
This is
not
financial advice.
Look, I'm almost up six. I'm up 6 figures in crypto right now.
I don't want the SEC knocking at our door.
Right.
Okay.
XRP.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, up until after listening to what he just said, I was thinking about business, putting $100,000 into a business, whether it be my production company or start my teas.
So you believe in yourself more than
Well,
you
that's what
believe
she
in
said.
anything
She said
else.
to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a bad. There's no wrong answer, like you were saying.
No.
Honestly.
And betting on yourself is never a bad bet.
Unless you're a bad businessman.
Right. But remember when
he's a really good businessman.
Yes.
Remember when he was saying earlier, talking about because I think we were talking about before we even had a conversation about cryptocurrency's only been touched by like 10% of the population.
Of the population, 10 to 12% of the population.
Right. And it's still it's doing pretty good.
No, but
for what it is, for how many people have been invested into it.
The advantage of that is, just say 20% of the people now invest in what you already invested in. Mm-hmm. You're already ahead of, right? When I was first investing in Bitcoin, I heard about it 8-9 years ago when it was 35 cents.
2012, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I watched it go to $3,000 overnight. And then I know a lot of people that were kicking themselves about it. So rather for anything, whether it's real estate or whether it's a business, like you said, it's all a good investment.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just a volume guy. I like to have.
Yeah.
I like small numbers with big volume because it pays out quickly.
Yeah.
And so when I got all my crypto, I was buying 20,000 shares at a time. You know, I get 26,000 shares of XRP.
Yeah.
You know, 15,000 shares of Cardano. Like
that's
just what I like. I believe in the future. I'm not saying we're gonna be the Jetsons,
right?
But I am gonna say that there has to be a place where we're going green. I'm looking at environment. I'm looking at EV. I'm looking at all these things.
All that, yeah.
All these things coincide with one another.
Yeah, I everything is great. The way I look at it is, I would say crypto as well, and main reason why me and Raj think very similar. Trailblazers are the ones that make the money.
Bingo.
And where there's higher risk, there's higher reward.
You know, Miss Destiny, that's why you're not working.
And if you're giving me $100,000 that I didn't have prior to, the way I look at it is, that's money I didn't have to begin with. If I put it into crypto, I can spread it out amongst maybe 3 or 4 different ones. And if one takes off, I could have doubled the money and then take out my profit and then put that into real estate. So my thing of it is, and the other thing I'm thinking too is real estate is that it's highest high that it's ever been, and there's going to be a correction. So if I put 100,000 in today, I could lose 50,000 within the next year or two.
I'm selling everything I got right
and then
now.
I would have to wait for it to go back up to what it was just to kind of break even. So while that's dipping, same way we're saying buy low and sell high. So while crypto was on a little bit of a dip, buy it. Then when it gets back higher, I can sell it, and then I can move some of that into a more safer investment.
But we needed that correction because everybody was shorting GameStop, AMC, right? So everybody who had any profit in crypto, and got on board over there. So you're also seeing the market fluctuate because there are good earning potentials in other areas.
Oh yeah,
right. So a lot of people don't have. Like somebody said, I think it was you. A lot of people don't have a lot of capital where they can be in 4 or 5 different places at one time. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at the crypto market go down, it's because it's not popular right now. Right now, AMC is like top of the chart. GameStop is top of the chart. Right. And everybody's chasing the quick shorts. Right. The people who understand it, like you, understand that it's a long game.
Right. Well, and with some of the laws that the SEC has passed, they're requiring these hedge funds to have more capital on hand in case if they're overextended on their risk when they're shorting in the stock market. Mm-hmm. So they were pulling money from crypto to cover their margin,
no choice.
And then that also caused a dip, and then the dollar's also getting stronger. So dollar gets stronger, crypto falls. Yep. But inflation is right around the corner.
It being August.
So
somebody said August.
When inflation goes up, the dollar goes down, and then crypto will go up because the dollar goes. So you have to kind of be able to forecast a little bit, and it's not if, it's when. So you either get in early and you make money, or you don't, and just like you said, buy the rumor, you sell the news. Where there is fear, that's where I like to invest the most.
That's why I'm putting so much money in crypto right now because everybody is terrified of it. So I've made all my money in the stock market. I made my money in the stock market the exact same way. Mm-hmm. I always play against the odds, right? Even when I gamble, I play baccarat. But I play I go against it's the same thing.
No,
yeah, same thing.
It's probability. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The probability is if you're already losing and it's lost for so long, and it's something that is adequate technology and it's a real thing, the chances are when you get in low, you're gonna make some money.
Yeah. And if you don't, then hey.
Then I was a free $100,000.
Yeah. So There was no bad answers. And for those that are listening on Apple Podcasts, whatever, or on YouTube, comment below and let us know which one that you guys would like to go.
That tax lien idea is probably one of the most lucrative things that you can do in life.
Tax lien, and then when I learned about water rights, you guys know about water?
Yeah, remember we were talking about
We were talking about water rights. There's so many ways to make money. It's just crazy.
This is why the rich get richer.
Well, and for those that don't know what we're talking about, so a water right is when you buy land and then you sell the rights for a company to use a water that is on the land. But you still keep the land, but you're basically renting out the water to somebody to use it, and you make money, plus you still own the land.
And you can buy stock in it.
It's crazy. And did anybody teach us that in school?
Hell no. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I love that she retired so early, and I love that she's on MSNBC and Fox. I love that because we don't get to see us represented on those platforms that often. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
And in our age group.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, bro, this is absolutely my love language. This is my love language. I mean, if anybody is like trying to pop at me, this is what it takes. Okay? It takes this. Some Jesus.
So if we ever do for the Love of Rajeo show, that means you got to bring your portfolio with you.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. I need to see the real estate index. I need to see the IPOs.
All that.
I need to see your capital gains, your risk management. Who's your CPA?
All right, Destiny, we gonna let you go. It is 4th of July weekend. I know you probably got some investments and everything to talk to and some more business moves. We are holding you to being here in August.
Holding you to it. We're gonna put it on our calendar right now.
Yo, when we talk on Tuesday, you want to talk? We should talk a little bit about options. Because I don't think a lot of people.
Oh, I love options.
People, see, look at his face. You see that glow?
You should have seen her. She was like,
I love options.
Expert world, but I'll listen.
Okay.
But I have done I'm AMC options, and I made a lot of money on options before, but I've also lost money. So I'm not gonna pretend that I know everything, but we can talk about it.
Call options is high risk, high reward, but you can lose your ass.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I told you I lost 10 bands.
So before we go, so other than the website, where can we find you on social media? You know, like if somebody wanted to follow you, because you're about to start getting a whole bunch of followers coming your way. So.
Okay. Yeah. So that's new for me too. This whole Instagram, because I'm usually private. But DestinySays.com, and my Instagram is DestinySays __. I'm not on Facebook. And my Twitter is private. So you can just find me on Instagram or on my website.
Hey, because Twitter is where it really go down. You got to keep the Twitter for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not ever on private on Twitter, please.
All right, so we'll follow you on Instagram. And we will definitely be looking forward to seeing you in August. And we will definitely check out the website and follow you and make sure that we are in tune with what you're going on, because we love what you represent and what you got going on. Definitely. So once again, we're going to give you a round of applause.
Yeah.
Killed the interview.
Yeah.
Platform. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much.
No problem.
We need to talk to her more.
Oh yeah, we gonna. Tuesday's gonna be lit. Oh, for those that are listening, Tuesday we will have a special Instagram live with her on there, so you can ask questions. Because obviously on a podcast medium, there's not really much room to go in depth. But if you had questions about VWAP, RSI, the charts, how to invest, what you're investing in, how to pick stocks, that will be the time to be able to ask. So. All right, Dustin, we're going to let you go, get some barbecue, enjoy your weekend, and we will holler at you later.
Yeah.
Love it, guys, so much.
All right, peace.
Fire.
That was lit. I already knew it was going to be lit.
Fire.
Already.
She got me by 5 years. I needed to retire. I should have had 30-year-old.
Bro, that's hella inspiring, bro.
I should have had.
That makes me like, damn. I need to get my shit together.
I'm finna be 33 on Wednesday. It's about time.
You about to be done. AMC about to retire you, fam. For sure.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Man, the podcast finna retire me. How about that? I'm putting that out.
Facts.
Putting that out there.
Hell yeah. Shit.
Yo, that energy got me so much energy, bro, right now.
That energy got you so much energy?
Interview got me so much
interview,
energy.
okay.
Yeah. When she was talking about the moving in fear, I was like, man, that is so hard to get out that mindset.
It's so
but
hard.
Once you do, The sky's
Hey man,
the
listen,
limit.
lose $10,000, nothing else will ever scare you. Trust me. When I lost that money, man, like my soul was like my soul was in my souls.
No, for
like underneath my body.
Like I went with my mom recently to Thunder Valley, and she just out there she gonna gamble, like she gonna gamble for real. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm going up to the room, like I lose a little bit of money, I'm gone.
So look, I put $20 in the machine. I got out 2 minutes later. I'm gone. I
I
don't
was
like
like,
no more.
dang, she over here just pulling out $100, just pulling out more money. I'm looking, I'm like, all right, I'm
Did she
gone.
finally hit?
$7,000.
That's what it takes.
I was like, damn, I should have stayed my ass on that machine.
But it takes money to play.
But this is
It
what
do.
I'm talking about.
It really do.
Because even when you play the slots, you still got to play probability.
Yep.
You have to play forever.
You
But
do.
you're going to hit, right? Eventually, you're going to hit. But you have to be patient enough, and you have to understand that that is the system of how these machines work, right?
But you gotta have the money to
Bingo.
lose, and now that's the
Bingo.
biggest thing. If you
Bingo.
don't, you gonna be like me. You gonna go upstairs to that hotel room and order you some room. So I'm chilling. I'm good.
When I teach people how to play baccarat, you're right. I do tell them to bring at least $3,500 because you have to be willing to be in the hole $1,200.
Yep.
And emotionally,
It's hard
It's
for
too
people
much
to
for
be in the
me.
hole.
people will
It is.
not. I know it. The feeling when you are down is sickening.
Oh
my
but,
God.
But look,
It is.
It's only sickening until you learn that this is how it goes, right? So, just a quick baccarat tip while G Focus is getting ready. Like the probability, you can bet on house or you can bet on player, right? And so the odds are 50-50. If you lose, you just double your bet. If you bet on player and you lose, double your bet. Just keep doubling your bet. Eventually, it's gonna hit back on your side, and all the money that you lost because you're doubling your bet, you're gonna make that money back plus the doubled bet.
If you have the money.
If
to
you
do
have
it.
but you have to
Right,
have the money
and
to
that's
do
the
it.
part.
You
That's
have
the
to,
problem.
but you can play $10, $15. I play high rollers, so you got to play.
They
at least
always say
50.
scary money don't make no money.
It don't.
It don't.
So-
It
But
does
you know
not.
But scare money will also lose your money too.
But that's facts. But
It's
you,
fa-
but you know,
But you have to be convicted.
You
And I
have
think
to
that's what it boils down to. When you know and you've done your due diligence and you've done the research,
right.
to me, when you are down, and that's what me and you're talking about.
Yep.
If I get down in something I know is going to do well,
You just
I just
double up,
average
it
down.
has more money.
But
And-
if you just got it because people were saying get it or for
Yes.
something you heard,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
gonna get scared.
No, but
Yes.
you're right though, because even with baccarat, bro, I sat down for like 3 days and I literally wrote down all the numbers and the
Yes.
probability.
Yes.
So I learned what the probability of 50-50 6 times in a row, 50-50 7 times in a row.
Right.
50, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it gave me confidence
Right.
to play because
That's the key.
I physically wrote it down and I saw it. So
Right.
I knew what I needed to come with. And I'm not going to lie, the first 2 times I was scared shitless.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm down $1,000, and then now I got to put another $250 on top of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you hit, and then that
Then, yeah. Well, and Photo B brought up a good point. Anytime that I've traded where I've got in and then I got out too early is because I either didn't do the due diligence or because I got antsy and I felt like I wanted to cut my losses. So like with Dogecoin, I got in at like 5 cents.
Yep.
And then I sold at like 9. And then obviously it ran up to like 72 cents.
Yep.
And it's like if I would have just been patient
Yep.
and held, but what I saw was I took the money out to put into a different play.
Mhm.
But again, if I was convicted with that play, I would have just rolled it up and I would have patience. That I think if there's anything that I've learned the most during investing, is patience.
Facts.
Is that anything worth having is worth waiting for,
Right.
and you're just really what you're doing is planting seeds. You're planting seed here,
Come on,
planting
bro.
seed there,
That's-
and you're waiting for it
That's
to
a
grow.
word, preacher.
And then when the fruit comes, then you can do it. But if you pull it out too early, then you never gave a chance for that
Facts.
investment to be able to go.
I learned. I use what you use. I think you taught me this, to use the word to go off your conviction.
Yes.
Because I know for a fact that I told you about XRP at 9 cents.
Yes.
But you weren't convicted.
Right.
You said I'm not ready to do that, and then you told me at AMC.
And it's because I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And if I did, and that's what people got to be. It's okay. Not every play is for you.
No, that's facts. Because I didn't play. When you told me about AMC, I bought 10 shares. I still have it.
Right.
But I could have bought 1,000 shares.
Right.
But just knowing that how you are, I trusted him enough to buy some.
Right.
Right. But if I was convicted, I would have played it like I play everything else in high value.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then FOMO, don't get hit with the feeling of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
The fear of it, because then you start
'cause
throwing money at, like, people are
Or
buying.
you start
buying
throwing
Dogecoin.
money you ain't got.
Right, people started buying
sometimes.
Dogecoin at 76 cents,
Because it
65
was at the top.
cents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that is an early investor thing, bro. You watch it run up 400% and then you invest. That's foolish.
Yeah.
Well, because all the hype is like, oh, it's gonna go to $1.
I need to get some.
Foolish.
So then you're thinking at 76 cents, if it goes to $1, I made 24 cents per coin.
That's true.
But then what happened? It dropped back down to 40, and then you lost your money.
And we watched a classic example of market manipulation. Elon Musk invested heavy in it, right? Just like he did Bitcoin, and then he said, "This is the kind of stuff you have to look at if you want to play these games. If you want to play in the market, you have to pay attention to who's saying what and what's going on." That's why I brought up. That's why I brought up the guys who are manipulating the market. But Musk did the same thing with Bitcoin. He bought millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, right? And then he says Tesla is going to accept Bitcoin as payment. So you know what everybody does? They all buy Bitcoin. You don't even want a Tesla. You're just saying that because Elon Musk said they're going to accept Bitcoin as a payment, and then you know what he did? He goes in there, he makes all these, it runs up to $66,000, and then it starts to drop back down to the $50,000. So he's already fundamentally made up the decision of how much money he was willing to lose out of his profits. Once it hit that number, he comes back and he goes, well, Bitcoin's just not environmentally friendly. But you knew it wasn't environmentally friendly when you said you were going to take it.
Yep.
So this is what you have to be aware of. You can't, all hype is not good hype.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you still have to do your research like we do. We do due diligence, man. I sent you guys the market manipulation thing the other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And if you're invested, and if you're convicted, there's short-term investments, there's long-term investments. If it's a long-term investment, I have a different account for my long-term investments where I don't even look at it. I just invest it and then I don't even check it because I know if I look at it, I'm gonna be like, oh, man, this ain't doing too good. Let me switch this up. So I that's in a totally different account where I don't even look at it. On my other accounts, if it's short term, I check that every day because I need to check to see if it's going to go up or it's going to go down. So, you know, there's different ways. I just think you have to be disciplined and you have to be convicted. And those two things, those bode well in life in general. Just for the podcast, we are convicted because we know we have a good product and we are disciplined and we stick to what we do every week, basically. So
and we get interviews like this.
And that was a fire interview. Fire interview.
By a
and I'm all for our people getting more into investments, and especially black women.
That's what made it so dope.
I think that's like the main thing that keeps us going is, again, like I said, you got to have your why. And that's the main reason why we started this. Like, yeah, we have our jokes. We talk about the different topics and stuff like that and what's going on. But the main meat of it was we wanted to be able to put this information out there. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. That keeps you going.
The primary conversation.
Primary goal.
We got us on course.
All right, man.
Speaking of topics,
I feel good.
I do too, bro. I'm hungry, man. I'm ready. I'm gonna order food. What y'all want, man? Text me.
All right, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the internet wins again.
Let's go.
You have to turn it down in the mix.
That is correct.
That is correct.
We're so good at this now.
Now
he knows what to tell me.
At 1:22, hour 22 minutes.
Photo B's been kind of quiet, so the mix might be kind of easy this time.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to turn it up because he's gonna look stupid doing that with no noise.
Yeah. All right. So we all know, man. If you've been under a rock, you may not know what's going on, but Bill Cosby is free.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby is free. So we're gonna talk about that.
I like how you said free and not innocent. Already on track.
Quaalude
He's free.
King.
He's free. So we're gonna talk about it. There's some clips that I want to play first before we get there. This is so multi-layered. I don't even know where to even start. We have the comments from Felicia Rashad. We have comments from Judge Joe Brown. We have comments. There's comments from the victims and the accusers. I don't even know where to start. So I think where I want to start is Judge Joe Brown. That's where I want to start at. Okay. So let me pull up.
That dude's funny online, bro. With his perspective, he said he be going on rants.
He do be having me weak.
He be definitely going on some rants.
JJP.
So we're gonna listen to some of his comments. So he was on the Black News Tonight show with Mark Lennon, and this is part of what he said on the show. I'm gonna play two clips. Okay, so this is the first one.
For their own behavior, they were groupies.
Actually, we're gonna play the.
That's how Judge Joe Brown started.
That's how we started. So we're gonna. All right, here we go. Let's play this.
Forgot what that term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
But right now I'm talking about Bill Cosby. I'm saying
we forgot what that term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. The bimbos come to the party. They hang out. They get drunk. They snort lines of blow, and they have a good time. They use the hall closets to give head, the bathrooms to get down, and you go in to get your coat off of the bed, and they're laying on top of it doing somebody. See, that's what that's about.
Judge Joe.
So,
yeah, but Judge, it has to be consensual, though.
30, 40, 50 years after something was in big time style. When this stuff started out, the sexual revolution was going on. And a lot of women got into it deeply.
Okay.
But right now I'm talking about Bill Cosby. I'm saying
context, that what he was talking about, basically do the women have any kind of accountability in obviously the Bill Cosby conversation. Okay, hold on.
He said it
if
was
there is no valid conviction, that presumption of innocence stands as a rock for the defendant. It is to keep the government from acting in a dishonest fashion and using its powers for persecution. So Dr. Cosby
I think we're on the same page with that.
Found guilty through due process. He hasn't done anything. So under American law, the accusations are just that. They carry no weight other than accusations, and they must be proven using due process beyond a reasonable doubt. If they have not been, then they're essentially worthless, just so much talk.
So I think we're on the same page. So I think we're on the same page with regard to the law. I think part of the challenge, and I sent out a tweet last night that you responded to. I'm going to pull it up. It says, I said, Bill Cosby is not innocent. He has not been exonerated. His release means that Cosby, a sexual predator, was incarcerated within a criminal legal system that has as little regard for its own rules and procedures as does Cosby for his victims. And you responded, you said,
he hasn't had any. Law is a baseless accusation. It has no weight.
No, so under the law, I think we're on the same page again. But part of the problem,
in the 4th and 5th grade, not law school. American law means when somebody makes an accusation, that's all it is. It has no weight. If there's probable cause, you have somebody answer the complaint. But if you cannot find someone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, they have done nothing. They walk out of there with their presumption of innocence intact. How clear can that be? There is nothing to answer.
I think that
he had a right to remain silent.
I think that part is clear. No, I think that part is clear, Judge. Let me move the conversation forward.
The proving his guilt. It did not. So he stands.
Right. So I guess what right. So what I want to do is just move the conversation up a little bit. I think you and I agree that.
All right. So to kind of give context for those that don't know, you should know, Bill Cosby was incarcerated for 2 years in prison. The Philadelphia Supreme Court overruled the conviction because in a civil case, Bill Cosby made an agreement with the prosecutor that if he testified under oath that he would not be able to be prosecuted criminally, that it would only stay civil. And after that, in another case, they basically disregarded that agreement and they used his disposition, what he testified under oath in other cases, which then that's where he was convicted of, or that's where he was convicted of because of that. So the Supreme Court ruled that that was in violation of his constitutional rights, and that he had rights to exercise his Fifth Amendment. And because of that, because the prosecutor gave him a deal, that a deal's a deal basically, and that it should not have been that they should not have been able to use that as evidence.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. So I just want to just frame it because there's so much, it's so layered, and I don't want to get into such of a deep conversation, but I do want to make sure that we understand that there's two conversations here. That there's Bill Cosby's constitutional rights and what the justice system did that was obviously was overturned. but there's also what Bill Cosby did outside of quote unquote American law. So, and I think that those conversations are being convoluted a little bit, where they're gonna get it combined.
He got out on a technicality. I don't think it gets that's not complicated. Like, getting out on a technicality does not mean you're innocent. Like, I've seen many a Law and Order episode where somebody got off because somebody did something wrong or whatever, even after they confess and the confession get thrown out. Mm-hmm. That don't mean you didn't do it. Just because, you know what I'm saying, technically you didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I understand. And what I'm saying is it's complex because, let's be honest here, because this is the only place that we can't be honest, and however y'all feel is however y'all feel. But it's a conversation that doesn't need to be had. There is a stigma with black men that and I'm not comparing.
That they're guilty.
I'm not comparing the two. So for y'all listening, do not say, "Oh, Rob is comparing Bill Cosby to Emmett Till." That's not what I'm doing. But there is a stigma when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. That white women have falsely accused black men for a long time. Mm-hmm. So when there are instances like this, especially with black men, we resonate with.
No,
Steph, you're not. I'm not.
No,
saying,
I'm hearing you, but this ain't that.
No, I know
and
that.
That's but the problem.
But it is that because he was falsely incarcerated.
He was. He shouldn't. He didn't get out on a.
I'm not saying he didn't do it.
No, he didn't.
I'm just saying that the way that they convicted him
was incorrect. He didn't get out on the technicality. He should have never gone in the first place.
He should have never gone in the first place.
That's the truth.
And I'm just saying he's not the poster boy for the movement.
Correct.
And that's why I'm saying y'all using the wrong thing. And that's where the issue is coming in, because it's like everybody looking at this as a win for the black man, and I'm like, they're not. But he was still guilty though. Like, so why do y'all want to use him as y'all poster child?
Did he ever confess to it? Because I was reading something that he never said he did it.
See, and again, that's why I'm saying
he never said he did it.
That's why I'm saying it's complex, because the trial with Constrand, he did not. The other women, he said that he did give them Quaaludes in hopes that he was going to be having sex. So it gets mixed up, because
it did get mixed up because he said without their knowledge, and that's the part right there.
No, he didn't.
He didn't say without their knowledge. He said he gave them Quaaludes while they were drinking, or in hopes of having sex. But he didn't say. He never said it was without their knowledge, nor did he say he put it in their drinks.
He basically said that he did it with their knowledge. He gave it to them as they were asking for it.
Right.
Because during that time period, I guess
that's what it was.
That was the drug.
Yeah.
That was the cocaine.
Now
Molly and all that shit.
But again, and we had that conversation.
Judge O'Brien said.
We had that conversation before where we said that as men that you can't do that. That you can't. In today's age, we know because we're living today. I can't speak on what was going on in the 60s and the 80s, but. And I remember we were saying, I was like, how was that any different than what was going on with the Molly age or with the ecstasy age, or with the drinking age, where you were going to a club, buying a woman multiple drinks, and then because you were thinking that it was going to
lead to sex.
Well, lead to sex, or kind of get her to a place where she may not make the best decisions, right?
Yeah.
Where there are men that do that. I'm not saying that.
Charlemagne the guy.
And we talked about Charlemagne, where to me it's one and the same. Yeah. So it starts to and I think you have to separate some of these conversations, right? So and I'm gonna read something, and again, this is not me advocating for Bill Cosby at all. You guys already know how I feel about victims and things like that, but I'm gonna read something because I think a lot of times we get into the conversation of we get into a kind of a mob mentality where instead of us reading on our own, that we kind of go by what somebody else has said. Because what I was under the impression of was that Bill Cosby was slipping drugs in their drinks, and he
that's
was.
What we
that's what we all said. They said that he used soft drinks, wine, cabbage. Like that's what was said.
Right, but I did not actually read the disposition myself, and when I read it, there was some stuff in there that was like, okay, maybe you have to take all the information into account. So I'm gonna just read this, and I'll let you guys figure it out, and we can have a better conversation. And again, this is not me advocating for Bill Cosby at all. All I'm saying is we have to get all the information before we make a decision to say what's what. So, here we go. intercourse. Okay. In 2005, then District Attorney Castro reviewed Constrand's interviews and Cosby's written answers in order to assess the viability of prosecution of Cosby. The fact that Constrand had failed to promptly file a complaint against Cosby troubled the district attorney. In D.A. Castro's view, such a delay diminished the viability of any recollections and undermined the investigator's office to collect forensic evidence. Moreover, D.A. Castro identified a number of inconsistencies in Constrand's various statements to investigators. After Castro provided the written answers, police officers searched the residence and found no evidence that, in their view, could be used to conform or corroborate with Constrand's allegations. Following the search of Cosby's home, Constrand was interviewed by police again. D.A. Castro noted that there were inconsistencies in that interview which further impaired Constrand's credibility in his eyes. He also learned that before she contacted the police in Canada, Constrand had contacted civil attorneys in Philadelphia, likely for the purpose of pursuing financial compensation in a lawsuit against Cosby. Additionally, according to the DA, he believed that Castro's behavior in the years since the alleged assault complicated any effort to secure a conviction against Cosby, as evidenced by the number of telephone calls that she had recorded. Constrand continued to talk to Cosby on the phone. She also continued to meet with him in person after the incident. D.A. Castro found that these reoccurring interactions between a complainant and the alleged persecutor to be atypical. D.A. Castro also reasoned that the recordings likely were illegal and included discussions that would be interpreted as attempts by Constrand and her mother to get Cosby to pay Constrand so that she would not have to contact the authorities. The totality of these circumstances ultimately led to D.A. Castro to conclude that there was insufficient, credible, and admissible evidence upon which any charge against Cosby related to the Constrand incident could be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That was not put into the information. And again, that's not to say that he's innocent. That's just to say that the district attorney thought that because of the circumstances that they could not charge him criminally. That's why they had to go.
That's honestly more than likely always the case, regardless of what it is. That's usually always the case.
Sometimes.
Because it's about what you could prove. It's not about
what she knows, what's
the truth. It's about what you can prove.
Yeah,
so that's literally
the
what
amount
it
of
is.
time that passed by before this even came about.
That's the weird part, though.
Right.
That's the weird part.
I don't even know why you would even do
what, 2 years?
What was it, 2 years?
Has it been 2 years? He's been there for 2 years, right?
No, I'm talking about the allegations from the 60s and the 80s.
That too.
Well, that's because of what he testified to. Because he did testify to giving them Quaaludes. He did testify to, to him. That was because
getting it specifically for that reason, not using them himself.
That was because of his because of his testimony. So what I'm saying is that as much as we want to be clear cut, some of it is not.
It never is. And I think that's what people need to understand about sexual assault. It's never going to be clear cut. It's never going to be cut and dry where it's easy for you to, it's not going to be palatable. It never will be. It just ain't.
Right. But
sorry.
That's what it was portrayed to be. And I think, again, we have to be careful of just assuming. And I think, again, I don't agree with what Judge Joe Brown was saying, but legally, you are innocent until proven guilty, and the burden of proof is on the accuser. It is not on the person that is being accused. And I think with black men especially, we feel like we are guilty before we even get into the courtroom, and we have to prove our innocence to then go free. So I think that's where black men are identifying with Cosby. And again, it's not, you're right, he's not the poster boy for the justice system at all. But you cannot deny that the justice system was still unfair to Cosby, so black men identify with that. Now, I don't agree with the celebrations. I don't agree with the pudding pops and all this other stuff that black men have been doing because, again, then you are being insensitive to the victims. And
not even just the celebrations, but it's just more than that.
Speak on it.
No.
Yeah, speak up.
Speak on it. You say you already it's more than that. So what more is it? Like, you know what it is.
The misogyny. You want to just take it there.
Just
We're
take it
talk
there.
about it. This is the time to talk about
like
it.
you brought it up. You know there's more to it. Elaborate on it.
I think I can't speak for her.
I mean, it's an easy conversation to be had when you're not necessarily. It's a harder conversation to have when you're affected by it personally.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you see that. I read something where it was saying, like, seeing a lot of the things that black men are saying, and just the black community in general, not even just black men, it just reinforces that our stories aren't safe. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it just reinforces that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't a safe space to even just keep it where it's at. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it feels.
Yeah. And you know what? And to me, that's the negative side to this, is that now it makes it more difficult for accusers to come out and say their story, because it wasn't their fault that he got off. It was the prosecutor's fault. So you were let down by the very system that you're asking to trust.
Let sexual assault victims down so much. Like, and again, because the burden of proof is on you. And so a lot of times that is why you don't say nothing, because it's like, okay, so now it's going to be on me. Like, I'm literally, I'm going on trial.
Right.
Who I am, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and
they was groupies,
facts.
they was hoes, they was this, they was,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? So
you heard what Judge Joe Brown was saying,
Yeah,
like bimbos and hoes.
No,
and
and
so you rather just keep your reputation, because it's like, this is going to ruin my reputation.
Yeah, no, and that is,
and I ain't do shit.
That is, I feel that completely. I understand how it feels to feel like you're fighting a battle where you almost can't win. You know what I mean? And there is no restitution or no jail time that can bring somebody back that feeling after being sexual assaulted. It's just not. There's no repayment for that. You can't make somebody feel better for it. You can't, you know what I'm saying, the psychological damage that goes into it, the therapy, all those things that go into it. So I understand how it's absolutely upsetting that he's free, you know what I mean? And then now you have other people like right now.
It's the responses to me, and
no,
some of the things that said. That's
well,
kind of like
it's the like I would never in my life post a Bill Cosby meme and then or do a touchdown dance for this nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just not funny to me. It's not funny at all. So I think it's weak as fuck to watch celebrities do that shit, and knowing that you influence the masses and you belittle the seriousness of what's really transpired because you're ignorant to how deep the cuts and the wounds of it really go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you may know and you just don't give a fuck because you think you need the content for your page.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the shit that I don't like. I don't like. I mean, law is law, and more often than not, it works against black men. So I could see where they're like, okay, something finally panned out for us, but this wasn't the one.
This wasn't the one.
Yeah,
no,
I think that's what I was trying to say. Like this not the one.
It's not the one.
Yeah.
And again, when I'm saying reading, obviously read what the DA was saying about what Constrand, what her testimony was.
Yeah,
obviously,
there
it
were
was
other
a little
women.
shaky. Right, there was 35 other
There were
accusers,
other women. Yeah.
and verbatim, this is what it says in here too. It says, notably during his depositions, Cosby confessed that in the past he had provided Quaaludes, not Benadryl, because he said that he gave her Benadryl, to other women with whom he wanted to have sexual intercourse. By the definition, bro, that's sexual.
Rape.
Yeah,
That's rape.
And that's how. I think that's the thing. And everybody like would judge up. Well, that's how it was then. I'm like, well,
that doesn't mean that it was right.
right.
It's
That's
okay.
what I be thinking that
Yeah.
too. Like even when you think back to kind of like the '90s and the gangster rap and how it was so much domestic violence.
Yeah.
And you got Michelette's story, all of that.
Yeah.
Mary J, everybody.
that was the
T-Boz.
time, but that shit wasn't right. Like
It wasn't. And just because it was socially acceptable doesn't mean it was right. Because the very argument you can make for slavery. Was slavery
It was
socially
hell
acceptable?
yeah, it was
It
socially
was.
Yes.
acceptable.
Was it right? No.
No.
So you can't make that argument. And as a judge, that is so scary that you are making that argument.
Well, because these niggas just play by the rules. When you play by the rules and you're strictly a rule player, you are not emotional and you play by the rules. That's what it takes to be a cold-hearted killer.
At
bro.
one
You gotta
point,
play
we
by
were
the
considered
rules.
3/5 of a person. That was law.
That was it, and that was
And those were the rules.
But
that's just what they were.
So by that admission, Joe Brown, then during that time, then you are admitting that you think that legally that you were 3/5 of a person.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Or he's admitting that legally rape was cool.
and that's what it is. See, but during that conversation, it made me, and I think I said it before, but it made me think about just our era. And I remember how big ecstasy was. I remember how big Molly was, and still is.
Boy, trains.
So it's like it just made me think. It just made me think in those arenas, and obviously the taking Percocets and all that. Now that's the thing. Now it's that for women. I just and again for women, and I'm just saying this as a brother. The same thing I would tell my daughter. The same thing I would tell my sister. You have to be extremely careful with who you're hanging around and what you're doing with those people, because you cannot think that these people have your best interests at heart. If they are giving you drugs, more times than not, it is because they are trying to loosen you up to get something that they would not normally get. Now, if you want to partake in that on your own to enhance your sexual experience, then that's fine. But that needs to be talked about prior to, as a man. And I'm talking about on the man's point. That needs to be a conversation prior to the drugs are consumed. Yep. And as awkward as that may sound, you need to have it. I
don't even think it's an awkward conversation. I think everybody's involved in it. You just really have a conversation and you just really say it out loud.
But if it's somebody like I feel like a lot of times, if it's somebody you just met, like, that's you know what I'm saying? And
I think men need to have that conversation, because oftentimes it's during like a kickback or a party. Because I'm thinking when I was younger, 21, 22, everybody's drinking. Okay, hey, everybody's drinking. So I was never in a situation where drugs were heavily used in one room. Yeah, I never did that, but I know of kickbacks that it does, where Molly's passed around, ecstasy, Percocets taken around, and then whatever happens. You can't put yourself. This is 2021.
Right, you can't put yourself in this situation.
You can't put yourself in that situation as a woman or as a man.
Facts.
Because you don't know who you're around.
I've been roofied, niggas, so I get it.
I'm just saying that it was socially acceptable. That's out the window.
All right, let me ask you this. All right, you kicking in shit. Girl gonna pull up and shit, and she's like, grab a bottle. Right, and you grab a bottle. You buy the bottle for her, right?
If she tells you to grab a bottle,
yes,
that's consent.
Okay,
no, it's not.
wait, hold on. Wait.
That's consent in the nigga's head.
Okay, in the nigga's head.
That's consent.
Oh, Raj, dude, that was about to be a clip.
No, in consent, that's the nigga's head.
Yeah, in his head.
In his head, that's consent.
I would agree with you.
Because if a girl tells me to grab a bottle and you're coming over at 11 o'clock, I'm already thinking like you're trying to smash.
Yes.
So
I would agree with that.
So, okay.
Meaning, hold on. I don't agree with that. I agree with you saying that's what most men would think.
most niggas would think.
Okay,
yeah,
I got to clear this up.
Please.
No, the reason why I'm asking that is because, like, if you're going back to what he was talking about when it comes to the Quaaludes and shit like that, right? And it was something around that time that they would do. A lot of times they will want Quaaludes, right? So he may already have it in mind, like, I want to fuck this chick, right? She's asking for Quaaludes.
She wants Quaaludes.
I'm gonna get her Quaaludes, right? Is that the same thing as, you know what? I'm gonna go buy Quaaludes. Y'all haven't asked.
That's totally different.
It's totally different.
It's different in the what he said. He had him specifically for the intent to.
I'm gonna read it again.
If somebody say grab a bottle on the way, that's not the same as I'm gonna get a bottle so I could try to. You know what I'm saying? The intent.
But he's using the version that if the girl wanted the Quaalude. If the girl.
No, like I said, if somebody says grab a bottle on the way,
because in my head,
that ain't the same as I'm about to get this bottle so I could try to get her
fucked up, right? So it's different,
right? It's different.
Well, that's what I said. Like,
it's
different.
Almost 100%
of the time.
But the risk is still the same.
That's facts. The responsibility and the accountability is the same. Yes. But almost 100% of the time, if you're pulling up on me and you're like, yo, I'm gonna grab a bottle, and she's like, what do you want to drink, or can you go grab a bottle on my way? I'm like, oh, okay, she wants to smash.
Well, anytime that somebody would ask that, I can't say all the time. I have to be honest. I can't say all the time. But if it's somebody I did not really know, I would ask, "Oh, what are you trying to do?"
Facts, bro. I got text messages in my phone.
Oh, wait.
My phone
that,
I've literally said,
hold on.
Are you giving me sexual?
Wait. That goes back to that conversation that you posted a while ago. One of you guys posted about old girl flew out. And they're all talking all this type of shit, right? All sex and all that, and pull up, and then nothing happened and shit. And then he switched up on her. That's almost the same. That could be the same thing. Like,
but
okay,
again, you gotta realize that don't nobody owe you shit. I don't care what you did, what you bought, I don't care if you flew me around the world 10 times. I still technically don't owe you shit. And I think that's the part that we have to really sit with. That no matter what you do, she don't owe you a damn thing. I don't care what time she came. I don't care what she got. I don't care if she come with a nightie on, with the bottle at 11 o'clock. She still don't owe you shit.
Well, she can still change her mind.
Thank you. And that's the part. Like she could still change her mind.
Yeah.
And I think people think like a lot of women think, not even just men. A lot of women feel like I've been in situations where it's like, damn, it's too late now, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of feel like, well, damn, I already came over here, I already did whatever, and then you kind of like, I don't really want to do it, but then it's like, shit, it's too far to go back, but never feel like that. Never.
You literally have to, as a man, I would say I just showed the text messages. I got text messages straight up that'd be like, yo, do you consent to future sexual comments and activities? Yes. I'm not. You can't.
There can't be no gray area. And even if there is consent given, consent can be taken away.
And that's what I'm saying. It could be.
That's why I just stay away from these chicks, bro.
You could change your mind. I think women are coming more to grips with like, okay, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. Like, I don't care if I came over here. I don't want to no more. I'm out. Like,
yeah, it's if you don't know who you're dealing with, you need to be cautious. And again, like I said, I didn't do it maybe all the time because sometimes things are just assumed, right? And we're just not in a space where you can assume those things anymore. Where if a chick say, hey, can you pick up a bottle? If I didn't know her, what are you trying to do?
I think it's harder for us
to text message it too, bro. Don't ask her.
I think it's harder for us to grasp because we coming from the old way of doing things to now this is how it is now.
Is it that old?
No, I'm just
60s and 80s Quaaludes?
I mean,
no, I'm talking about what we
No, you were just saying how it was different with the trains and all what was socially acceptable.
Yeah,
so what's socially acceptable has changed. So for us, it's changing. For the generation coming up, this is their normal, which I'm glad for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have to have these what about, because this is how they learned about consent. We didn't.
We didn't have these conversations.
We didn't have these conversations. So I'm glad that they're coming up, and this could just be the norm for them.
Consent was, oh, you're in my room now with no clothes on.
Right. See, but the problem here is I think people are looking at rare. I'm not even gonna say rare. I'm not gonna say rare occurrences that don't happen as often, and thinking that those occurrences are the norm. So, for example, we have all heard of a story of a black athlete dating a white woman, and then the white woman saying that, oh, he raped me. Like, I forgot who that guy was, where he lost his scholarship.
Yeah, and it was false.
then it came out that she lied. So I think a lot of men are a little antsy because they feel like, in a way, and I don't want to say, again, I'm not speaking for other men, I think it's like purposely like, oh, now the women have more control, and if she says that I raped her, then now I have to defend myself, and I might lose everything, because in the Me Too movement, you are basically guilty until proven that you are innocent. So you are putting some, and again,
I feel like that's for everything, though.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
When you get accused of anything, that's how people are. Like, they ready to just.
But especially sexual assault, rape, or sexual misconduct.
It's always
if you
guilty
are
until proven innocent.
If there is a vindictive woman that really wanted to get somebody,
I see it.
I'm not saying it's easy, but what I'm saying is all it really takes is that, hey, we hung out. He did some things that I did not give him consent to, and really it's he say versus she say. And in this era, because we're trying to be more sensitive to the victims, that we are taking the victims for what they say. And again, I'm not saying that's wrong.
They just had the kid get kicked out of Harvard for that.
I'm all for.
I just think people need to be more. I think we talk about being selective of who we sleep with and all of that, but a lot of this stuff happens with the right until it's time. So a lot of this happens with the situations where you probably should have been more selective, and you know what I'm saying. Actually get to know somebody, their character, all of that, because it's like. If you just out here smashing whoever, but your risk is much higher.
But that's why they do the background search.
Hold on, before I just want to say this. And I'm not saying that there's not no nasty niggas out there that are doing the shit that they are getting accused of.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that men's mentality is that they feel from what I'm seeing on the internet is that it is I am now vulnerable and I'm not in control anymore, and all of what I've worked for can be taken away based on what somebody says.
Exactly. So you should take that very seriously.
You should take,
and that's
you
shouldn't be
whole
mad.
Salt, not a grain of salt.
You should be mad because you should take more accountability.
I feel like that's
smarter.
why you gotta get like I said, like I just read the text messages in my phone. That's a real thing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like and I've been that for like 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing to me. Like if you're gonna ask me to come through or I'm gonna pop up on you or whatever, if there has to be proof that there is a sexual relationship at some point. You know what I'm saying? And that you're okay with it. But the kid at Harvard just lost his scholarship. They just kicked him out because he was convicted of a rape allegation, right? And the video footage from across the street caught that he was trying to leave the chick and he was pushing her out of the Uber and she was drinking and putting the alcohol in his face. He's pushing her out of the Uber, pushing her away, and she got in the Uber with him. They went home and they had sex, and then she said he raped her. So even though after the video footage and the whole scene, right, of seeing how she was the aggressor and how she was initiating it, and he was proven innocent, they still didn't admit him back to school. So as a man, you have to be aware that once this stuff hits your name, bro, it could be curtains for you, whatever you're trying to do, your career or, you know what I mean? It's just not, I don't know, man. It's just not worth the risk.
Yeah, and I don't want to dominate the conversation by saying, all I'm saying is that
it's just not lucrative. That's a good way to put it.
But the one negative, I think probably the biggest negative out of this whole thing is that I think it does undermine victims' confidence in coming forward and speaking out against what they've gone through and going to a system that you're supposed to be able to trust, but oftentimes, like what Steph said, that they let them down every single time.
And the black community got to be careful about that. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have a bad history of sweeping under the rug or feeling like being quiet is the best option. And most people see they abusers at every family function, or what, you know what I'm saying? They still friends of the family. That, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the part that be hitting home for people. That is just like, this is why we don't say shit. As far as I feel like for black women, because you see the responses and the support and all, and the type of shit people say about situations like this from black people, it makes you like,
it's hella fucked up, the responses and the memes and the jokes and shit.
Very
much.
It's not. And black people have to realize, I think we're the only people to do this. You can respect what Cosby and the Fat Alberts and the Cosby Show has done for the culture, but still condemn what he has done as a person.
As a human being.
Like, I think that conversation gets totally convoluted as well, too.
Where it's like, stop playing R. Kelly.
See, but to me, that's different. Like, you're talking about a TV show that he was an actor.
Yeah.
That you're portraying a character. R. Kelly, that's his music that he wrote. You know what I mean? And like, people are like, oh, well, if you're going to stop listening to R. Kelly, then I guess you got to stop watching the Cosby Show. Are we really comparing? So then that means everybody that, like, so are you going to condemn movies and films and TV shows that every single person that was, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's a personal conviction. If you are personally convicted where you don't want to watch the Cosby Show, that's on you. Yeah. But this group of cancel culture that we have, to me, that is a personal decision. I personally do not want to listen to R. Kelly. That's my personal conviction. If you want to listen to R. Kelly, that's your earphones, that's your speaker, that's your TV. You do what you want to do. Well, I don't agree with it, but I have to leave room for you to.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It works both ways.
I don't agree, but as a human, I have to leave room for me to be able to disagree with your views and opinions. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. I can't make you feel like listening to R. Kelly is wrong. It's wrong to me.
So this is the thing about that. With the listen to R. Kelly, that's your business. I feel like that's your business. Again, it's the same thing that I said with this bill. It's the comments. It's the they was fast, or that's part
different.
That's the part where I be like, I can't fuck with you, because like with the Bill Cosby, okay, well, if you still want to watch, whatever. But it's the comments that you making about the situation,
and
especially
victims.
About the victim. They was fast. They didn't have no business doing this and all of that kind of stuff. It's like, Now I'm questioning your character
But
a
that's
little
a mentality.
bit.
Yeah.
You know
that's,
what I'm
that's
saying?
Different.
And I'm gonna keep my kids over here. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
the
different.
You
I
listen
would
to the music, okay.
I would agree.
That other shit.
I would agree.
So when it comes to the comparison of like, oh, if you're not gonna listen to R. Kelly music, but you're gonna watch, Cosby Show, it kind of goes on the same thing of like when people are talking about like you listen to R. Kelly, is like you supporting them and you giving them that money. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing when you're watching the Cosby Show. You supporting them and giving them that money.
That's what I said. It works both ways.
That's what people are. That's why I see it as not as like the same thing. The Cosby Show isn't the same thing as actual music. No,
it's
but if you're talking about like who gets
a rapist,
it kind of sort of. So, but what if you support Felicia Rashad?
Doesn't
what
matter. Doesn't
but
matter.
But it does.
But now, what about everybody issues when it comes to anybody who had a song with R. Kelly?
R. Kelly, all the features.
You can't listen to those
the features, the
because he's on there.
Because all those people are eating off of R. Kelly.
Again, it's a
ways.
personal decision. My thing is the mindset and the things that people say to support their argument that be bothering me.
Well,
that
that's
really
when
be
you
kind
get
of
to
like
see the
questionable.
character of a person.
Right. That's
You know
the
what I'm
stuff
saying?
they be like.
Yeah.
If you listen,
it's just a kid,
but
you know what I'm saying?
And to me, personally, to me, it's different because if I'm listening to an R. Kelly song that's talking about sex, he has known, or from my understanding, he is having sex with minors. So the whole vision or the whole writing or the inspiration behind what you've written is that. So I can't support that. A Cosby Show, we all know that it had integrity, life lessons. It was good for the culture. So I'm not supporting just Cosby. I'm supporting what it did for the culture. You know what I mean? I think that's a different conversation.
But most of the songs back in the day, even after watching the Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat, they was real.
They was kind of pedophile. Yeah, there was a couple that was on that verse. I was like, Ronnie was definitely kind of. I had to stop listening. I was like,
Ronnie is very cringy.
It was cringy.
How old was he when that?
It doesn't matter.
And what's the Keith Sweat? How deep is your love?
Over 18
you may be young, but you ready. That whole I'm like that line just don't sit right in
my
spirit.
Keith Sweat comes. I'm sorry. He comes across as that uncle that be telling you to sit on your lap at the barbecue. Anyway,
I got a friend.
I got a friend in the system.
I got a friend that is.
That's true.
I got a friend that's dating his daughter, and he says the same thing all the time. That dude creepy.
Yeah,
when he started getting that Ciroc, I was like,
he was kind of
who? Keith's daughter?
Yeah,
Keith. But yeah, as soon as he sang it, I was like, and I was because that was my song, and I was singing. I was like, Keith. That don't sit right in my spirit no more.
Yeah,
he was telling me he was on the phone with him the other day. He was like, that dude kept saying weird stuff.
I think you got to take these as a case by case basis. I think there's I don't know, and again, I'm not trying to put Bill Cosby in this category. But we just have this world where we think that people are supposed to be perfect, and when people make mistakes, it's like we give we give passes to some people, but then we don't give passes to other people. Like again, I think Charlamagne and Bill Cosby are both in the same bucket to me, and it happened for a week, and then the Breakfast Club went right back to what it was.
Come on,
I tell you.
Well, because the court said that Charlamagne settled.
Yep,
that's what happened. So because Charlamagne was not convicted. Right, then the Breakfast Club was like,
then
we'll just
he's
keep
assumed that again, not convicted.
Right,
and innocence ain't the same. And I feel
but
like
it's the assumption of innocence in the public.
Put that together, and that's
true.
not.
But then we learned. But see, that's why I'm saying you got to read the details. Then the details said the mother did not allow the victim to go to court because she did not want her to prosecute.
Facts.
Yep.
So it's not that she didn't want to come forward. Her mother stopped her from doing it.
She was blocked.
So again, that's why I said.
Well, and then he said that he did it to his wife. Yeah. So it's like
nigga, this is what you do.
He said it out his own mouth.
That's
every time. Every story we heard was from Charlamagne himself,
and he laughed. We already had that on the last episode or the other episode.
But then that's a good conversation. So then, because of Charlamagne's antics, would you not support that Black Effect podcast network that he has? Would you not listen to them because of what he did?
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
Wait, I didn't.
So he owns that Black Effect podcast network where he has a lot of black podcasts on it. Because of what he did, would you not listen to them?
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
But he benefits from it.
He does. But you're making a good point.
If Charlamagne came right now and was like, I want to put your podcast on Black Effect.
All you niggas would say yes.
No. I wouldn't.
You would say no?
No.
We ain't on one accord.
He not.
I mean, and I think we said this maybe last episode before that every connection ain't a good connection.
Yeah,
know?
but
It might be a popular one.
Man, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. If that dude come out here and give us an opportunity, we go and we change the whole culture in that thing.
Because our responsibility is us. Our responsibility is us.
But it's who you tied to as well.
Exactly. Like with the Joe Budden thing.
And no Joe Budden.
That's a good question.
I mean,
we would have to rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, hey,
because all of us, because we usually agree. You know what I'm saying? So when we don't agree, we could just have a rock.
Well, and that's what I think the point.
all right.
I think the point that I'm trying to make is that it's not always clear cut.
It's not.
It's not. It's not black and white. It's never going to be.
No, it's
not. But as a society, that's how it's like this. Everybody has to think the same, and if you don't agree with my opinion, then you cancel.
Well, that's the problem, right?
And we're gonna talk about that now. So Felicia Rashad, she basically was happy that it got overturned, and then the internet came and attacked her. And then it got to the point where she had to apologize, where she said, "I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to their truths. Personally, I know from friends and families that such abuse has lifelong residual effects. My heartfelt wish is for the healing." And then people were really advocating for Howard to fire her because she's a dean.
That's fucked up because, like, you got to understand her relationship with Cosby.
Yeah. No, I don't.
You got to, because, like, they've known each other for decades. That is essentially a personal relationship. She sees him in a specific light, right? And at the age that he is, and you see the way he is, like, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
I always look at it on a personal level though, because I be like, I don't care how long I known y'all. If y'all did some foul shit.
You did some foul shit.
You leaving us? You not leaving us? You not riding
out.
with us no more?
Well, for
life.
See, and then again, context is everything. So when she was happy about the case being overturned, was she only referring to the specific case with Constrand, or was she referring to the other 34 accusers that came out and that was, you know what I mean?
That's a lot of people.
It is.
A lot of people to come out 30 years later.
It's a lot.
35.
Well, they had a Zoom meeting and they all came out.
And the fact was that he was wrongly convicted. I'm gonna say wrongly convicted. He was technically wrongly convicted.
He should have been convicted.
He should have been convicted on
a civil.
He should have been tried because they shouldn't have been able to use what he said against him. We get that, but he still said it.
But that's the thing.
You still said it, and it was enough to get you convicted. So, and you still said it.
See, and to me, what's crazy about that is if he would not have testified on oath, none of this would have never happened.
Yep.
So how do we feel about? So you already said that you think that was fucked up that they tried to fire her, right? That they called for her to be fired from the Howard Dean.
I think the reason why I said it is because people are forgetful of certain shit, right? You can't get mad at somebody for supporting somebody that they fucked with for a long ass time, right? It's hard to, because even if somebody's like, you see a lot of people who have issues with sons, right? Say one of your sons and shit end up having an issue and shit with something, right? Not fully convicted, you don't have like 100% proof and shit like that, but they still end up getting locked up. They get out, you're excited. People who still have the issues with people who have the issues with him getting out because they think of all the other shit that could have happened and possibly happened. But they're like, wow, you really gonna be happy that he's out?
Some people feel like they don't deserve to get out.
Exactly, but she did.
Well, here's one of them. So OG on Viv, Janet Hubert, said,
Viv bring the pain.
She ain't.
She said, Felicia, what are you thinking? I don't know you, but to say this was terribly wrong. Everyone knew that what he was doing back then. How could you not? Get your umbrella, sister. Here comes a shit shower. I am outraged that he has been released. Yes, he is an old ass guilty man.
So is she saying it to the point to where she knew what was going on way back, or
she
said how
she
she
said
everybody knew
in caps.
Everybody knew he was. Everybody knew, and they were like, in 30 years,
same
we're gonna
thing
get
like
this
with the what's the one? Oprah partner.
Oh, Harvey
Weinstein. Everybody knew. You know what I'm saying?
But here's
and
the thing.
I'm side-eyeing y'all too.
So here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When they were doing it and they were trying to get like Weinstein, they were sleeping for positions. They were sleeping so they can get jobs, right? So I'm going to take the G-Focus route. I'm not advocating for any of this. But when you do stuff like that so you can be in position to get a job or get career or get work, and you do get jobs or career or you get work, that's what Judge Joe Brown was saying back then. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying
leverage.
I'm not saying it's okay. Well, that's what it was. They were sleeping.
But sometimes it's hard to say that because it's like especially with somebody so powerful. It's one thing like for me, like on my job, if my supervisor came at me sideways, I could report it. You know, all of that.
So you're saying you wouldn't do it?
No, but I'm just saying the thing about it is, how much power does he really have? Does he have the power to stop me from getting jobs anywhere else?
YNC and Cosby both did.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody has that kind of power, it's kind of like.
So you make the decision to sleep with him because you want a job position, right? It's still a decision. They didn't have to entertain him or sleep with him in the first place.
That's true. But I think what Steph is saying is that you can't.
Your no could affect the rest of your career.
Well, how do you tell the difference? So how do you tell the difference between a woman that is afraid that her career is over if she says no, contrary to a woman that knows that a yes will elevate her to a different status?
Because how many women have came forward and said that they know, and look at them now. Look where their career at. They blackballed as fuck.
Yeah.
Most of the ones that come out and say I said no and stood on my square.
Yeah, so how do you tell the difference?
You don't, but that's unfortunately the wicked truth is this. That's the entertainment industry. It's the same thing happens in music, same thing for to men and women alike.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I've been in situations with artists and I've gone to labels and I've seen executives and A&Rs ask them to take their clothes off. I've been there. I've seen it twice, men and women. I've seen it done to a man and done to a woman. But that is this. And so I'm not taking away from the Quaaludes or taking away from Weinstein, but they do use their leverage to you're trading your body for the favor, right? And I'm not saying it doesn't even always work out, but they try to put themselves in position. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? And let me say this because I know there's a lot of men that will say, "Oh, well, they knew what they were doing." Like, so let's say, like, because there's always that conversation of.
But you can't say all of them did, and you definitely can't say all of them.
No,
did.
I know. That's what I'm gonna say. So, like a lot of them will say, "Well, why are you coming out 5-6 years later saying that this was wrong back then?" I'm gonna just lay an example. So that quote that Rick Ross said, he said, "I sleep with all my artists," right? So obviously that is a standard, or it is socially acceptable in the industry.
How much harder it is to come out.
And who do they usually pick? Young, impressionable women. Yep. So 21, 20, 19, 18, you sleep with him because you think that's what I need to do to get on. Yep. You might be 28, 29, 30. Now you married and you look back and you're like, damn, what I did back then was not right. And I should speak out about it because back then I didn't know any better. But now that I'm more mature and I'm more intelligent and I'm more, I've grown and I see the world in a different light, I was pressured into doing something that I was not comfortable doing. But I did it because I wanted the record deal at the time. So just because it's 7 years, 8 years down the line doesn't mean that because I accepted it then means that it's right. And I have to just say, oh, well, I made a stupid, choice.
But think about it. Look at the culture now, and people ain't believing you because it was so long ago. But if you're thinking about in the time, like it was socially acceptable. That's what everybody was doing.
Yeah,
don't you think that in that moment you would think ain't nobody gonna believe me because everybody's doing it? This is normal. This is the norm.
But that's why they
it's
didn't
even
say
harder
anything.
to say.
But
that's what I'm saying. In the moment, if it's the norm, you're really gonna feel like ain't nobody gonna believe you.
That's my point.
But that's why a lot of people are having such a hard time, like Felicia Rashad with what came out, because she feels the same way. She's like, yo, you did what you needed to do to get where you are. I did it. She did it. We all did it, right? And so why are you trying to why are you trying to get paid for it now? You know what I mean? So that's why. So, and then for Aunt Viv to say the same thing, she knew the industry. She knew the industry standard, right? I'm not saying it's right, but the reason why, and so this goes back to why people are celebrating, because everybody in that industry, in music industry, the comedy industry, and the movie industry, they all know what the price it is to get in. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like, even though it's weak as fuck to be making fun of the situation, but you have to count the cost for where you want to go. And if that's the route you took and that's the route you take, then you know, you shouldn't have to stand by it, but they want you to stand by it.
No, I totally agree. But
I think
see,
we just
in that,
hate the justice system as well. We know how crooked the justice system is.
Yeah.
Is that we take any opportunity for a black person to get off and stand behind
Well,
it.
we celebrate it because it's so fucked up against us.
No,
Well,
you know, and
look
that's
at-
the thing. Everybody don't deserve that
Freedom.
same. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
look
Like
at-
we
No, I mean,
understand
like,
it, but look
we-
how they did with OJ Simpson.
OJ, I was about to say OJ
Oh,
Simpson.
damn well
We all
OJ
know
did
OJ did it.
But niggas was still happy and clapping.
Yeah.
Bro, OJ
To this
didn't
day.
do it.
I mean,
if the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
We don't always
OJ did it.
like we know what's like we don't always celebrate when
OJ
people
did
get out and shit. And like look at dude who represented himself, right? He got locked up. He's like that nigga needed to go.
Bruh, he killed his whole family.
Like we know,
children.
like he needed to go. It's not like damn, I wish he got out and
Did
shit
you
because he
listen
tried
to
for
his
himself.
argument?
Man.
He didn't do it, but okay, here's why I did it.
That man thought that he was on Law and Order.
Bruh, and that's
He
what I'm
thought-
saying. Like,
He
when
thought
we
he
be
was
like,
on
oh,
Boondocks.
you know, like I don't know why we be so. I mean, I get why we be so excited when black people beat the system, but
Yeah.
So is it? I mean, are we saying that Bill Cosby raped these people, or are we saying that Bill Cosby, or we're saying that these people, however you look at it, is fucked up?
We have to redefine what rape means.
Because
I think when we hear rape,
we think pinned down,
we're
aggressive
thinking
rape.
violent, ripping clothes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we think. So when
Yeah.
that's not rape.
Yeah.
But rape is if somebody does not give you their consent and you sexually touch them or have intercourse with them against their will, that is rape. If they are unconscious or they're drunk to the point where they're slurring or whatever, and you have sex with them, that's rape. We have to redefine what rape is. We have to redefine that.
Well, that's like I said though. Back then, everybody again, and I'm glad I brought that up because people knew what the cost of being in the industry was, and they knew what the cost of being around those people was. They knew that Weinstein was sleeping with them. They knew that Tarantino was sleeping with people. They knew that Cosby was sleeping with people.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but I believe there's also for every woman that knew the cost, there was a woman who didn't.
I agree.
And because didn't he have like an assistant that would groom the women before they came in? And say, well, if you want to be here, this is what you got to do. X, this, and that. I think some of them came with pure intentions, like, hey, I just want to just get on. But then it was
but if you then are laid out a contract of things that are necessary to get on,
and you agree
sleep
to those
with someone, it's consent against your will.
But imagine if you said
rape,
no,
though.
thank you.
Then you're not getting in the industry.
But then you know something that they don't want you to know.
So
You're
they blackball you.
That's what I
But
said.
that was the price. That is still the price
Because if
today.
you say no, you're a threat.
Bro, that is still the price today. That is still the price of the industry today. It
Right. But
hasn't
what I'm
changed.
saying is, so if you went in with no foreknowledge and you were given the choices and the choice was no is a black ball and yes, I get to move up. And
still have to
come,
make that choice.
I know, but what I'm saying, but you come from nothing. But the choice is kind of forced upon you.
It is. It's definitely.
It's not really a choice, to be honest with you. It is a choice.
It's a choice to never. It's a choice to never be in this industry in your entire life, even though you're dope. Or it's a choice to fucking take the blue pill.
Right. And what I'm just saying is that women should not be put in the position.
Nor should men. But men are not going to come out.
Hey, let's say it. Nobody should be put in the position to make that choice.
So that's why Felicia Rashad said I would assume because of the knowledge of knowing, and that's why Judge Joe Brown is taking the stands he's taking on all these other attorneys that are from that era. It's all the old people from back then are like he shouldn't even gone to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the new people that are like you said that were redefining rape and understanding sex culture and
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I said I'm glad it's coming up different for
the
next generation, and that's why we having these conversations. That's why I push so hard for it, not for me because we already done came up in the era we came up in. It's for them, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have to deal with the gray areas, and you know they know what consent is.
Hey, since you the moderator, you got to sleep for the deal, fam.
People got to just realize, man,
those days, whoever he got to, so we
those
can get
days
on.
of I ain't sleeping nobody. Those days of
take over the team.
Come on, baby.
Oh, you know what that reminded me of that Fire Festival interview where he was saying he had to go take one for the team.
Look, in my
my God.
Look, in my own experience.
He said he did or he thought he did?
Said, I went there fully prepared to suck his dick.
He did. He sure did. Look, but in my own experience, we had this. I won't say her name, but I was working with Track Nation, and we had this offer to do the music publishing for NBC. right? And that's when we were all working with Love Rants, and Up was going hard, and Red Nose, all those songs were going up. My manager, Art Burton, he came on here. He came on here, right?
Art got to come back.
He specifically said she wants to sleep with you. You could ask him. She wants to sleep with you. Take one for the team. You have to respond in 2 days.
Oh damn!
That was the deal.
Art got to come back, and we got to.
So we could talk about that. We could talk about it. That was the deal. The deal was because she was the gatekeeper for all of the TV shows for NBC. We could have had unlimited placements. Yada this, yada that. But that was the deal.
See, women are creeps too.
No, and that's what we say. We got to change this to everybody. Obviously, it's more. We hear more about it happening to women.
Well, because men have pride and integrity and ego that they don't.
Well, and there's more men that are in power positions.
Can you drink your 18?
Look at Terry Crews.
Right?
Yeah,
I finally drunk mine and shit. I thought we were going to cheers it.
Well. I am
for Steph.net's birthday real quick.
Yeah, we are. Look. Can we get past the Bill Cosby conversation?
That's what I thought I was going to do too. But hey, look, they start pouring up. They started
Hey,
we on round 2.
I can have a drink. 18,000.
Right, 18,000, baby. And I showed sitting over here like, damn, it's getting kind of high.
Hey, that's just start hitting you in the chest.
God damn.
I'm glad I'm not wearing gray because I'll be sweating that shit.
Yo.
Hey, facts. I stay away from the gray tees.
Yeah, we gonna get onto the next conversation.
Especially in the summer.
So I want to make sure that on the Reverb Experiment podcast, if you are listening mid conversation, whatever, we fully support the victims and accusers of sexual assault,
100%.
rape, sexual misconduct.
We just want to have conversations that's open
It's
about
gotta
all
be
sides.
It's got to be the hard
Got to
conversation.
be all sides.
Yeah,
have to be all
because
sides.
I don't agree at all with the industry standard for getting in.
No.
Right, but there are obviously men and women alike that agree.
See, and like even with the conversation with Jojo Brown, I totally disagree with his stance. But I understand what he's trying to say from a legal standpoint. You are innocent if you're not proven guilty.
Yeah.
So by his view, he's innocent.
And he's a judge, bro. That's what he does.
That's what he has to do.
He makes clear-cut decisions.
But like what Steph was saying, those underlining other comments he made was trash.
Yes,
the bimbos and they like
the hoes
that's
and
the
they
shit
were the
right
groupies, right?
Bro, that was extra. You didn't have to say all that.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's a fact though. It's a truth.
But it goes to your mindset.
Yeah, no, but he's
in the first
like
place.
Photo B said. Even though we don't like it, that's what it was.
Right. We still call them
holes
and shit now. Right, holes and thoughts now. It wouldn't be no different than because we know they exist.
So if you go to Bill Cosby on some groupie sex or some I need a job sex, then
no, and there were definitely groupies. We all know that.
unfair.
But at the same time, you can't
But
lump.
it's automatically assumed like, oh, she a groupie.
You can't lump all 35
No,
accusers into that category.
You can't. But there are some.
bro,
We got.
It's almost it's not fair to any party to even be here, to be honest. Because if you're a groupie, it's unfair for you to turn around and be like, he did something. But if you're not, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's
But we don't know who's who. And that's why you got to read and you got to listen to their stories.
No one's going to be like, how many of them are going to come out and be like, I was just a groupie?
Oh, there's plenty of them. There's groupies that have books about being groupies.
There's Superhead. That's the first groupie book I ever read was Superhead.
I didn't even read the book.
I didn't need to read it.
It's
Oh,
good. She was all on Shaq. She was killing Shaq.
Yeah, so as I'm saying, so
In what
women
regards?
see, and I think when the default man, when they think of stories like that, that's who they have in mind.
Because this is the thing. People automatically assume if you mess with anybody that has money or power or stature or a celebrity or whatever, you're automatically seen as a groupie.
It depends
no matter what.
Yeah, it depends on your level of status.
Automatic. No, it's women with money, they own business. You automatically seen as a groupie if you mess with a man that got something. But a man that mess with a woman that got something ain't seen as that. But for us, it's automatically you're a groupie. You want it for your money.
He was like,
you out to get them.
You see what I said?
You are a groupie.
No.
Well,
It's not the same.
Nah,
They automatically assume that you out to
superheroes.
get his
You
money.
You had that?
Yeah, if men do it, then it's a come up.
It's a come up. But for women, it's like she's treacherous. She this. She out to get him. She, you know what I mean? Like
Cougar.
it's just
Yeah.
you know, it's weird to me how it's automatically. So for I would never mess with a
You know
celebrity
why?
because I would
You know
never
why?
want to be
Because-
seen in
you
that
know why?
light.
Because all of the stories I've seen in my lifetime and I've heard about women trapping dudes on purpose but these niggas are idiots. So, you know what I mean? Yo, Let's go to the next topic because we can do this forever.
Forever and shit.
There's
forever.
no such thing as trapping somebody, but we can move on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Go ahead, hit him with him.
You got control over
Go ahead, hit him with that.
You got control over your own body, sir.
We're gonna go to the next topic.
Ain't no such thing. Did you partake? You didn't get trapped.
You got trapped. You can be lied to.
Oh well.
100%. Oh well.
Oh well.
So
You
we
take
can
your,
go. So we
take
can wait.
your
So
own
we can do a whole
precautions.
segment about Bill Cosby and deceit, and but once you get deceived by a chick and she gets pregnant and then she starts getting your check, it's oh well.
Precautions.
Oh my gosh, you can still
Take
be
your
trapped.
own
Still be trapped.
Take your own precautions.
You guys heard about the girls who take the condoms and the whole nine and
Bring your
put
own
holes
shit.
in them and shit.
yeah, come on, bro.
Know who you dealing with.
Know who you dealing with. Bring your own shit.
So we need, man. See, accountability.
They do have.
We have to because
Save this
accountability.
topic.
Accountability
Save-
loves to be on
save
one
this
side.
topic.
Oh no,
Save
no,
this
no,
topic.
because this is my thing.
No,
No.
accountability.
You know
loves to
the
be on one side.
100% way to not get trapped.
Don't have sex.
Thank you.
But
But-
since people
A
do
choice.
have
When you
sex,
just talk about
but
choices,
since people do have
you
sex,
you go in with a condom and you know a condom
I
ain't
need you to keep
100%.
that
Don't
same,
you know that?
I need you to keep
You know
that
a condom
same
ain't-
choice energy when we start talking about single mothers. When we start having that conversation.
You know exactly same shit. You know condoms ain't 100%. You know birth control ain't 100%. It wasn't a mistake. You had sex and you knew what the consequences could be. Period.
When we start having these conversations, and I start bringing up all the factors of single mothers having the last ultimate choice of having a baby or not, I need you to keep that same
So
energy.
what? So what? Because she
I
does.
need more.
'Cause she
Oh,
carries
you
the
didn't
baby.
say that last episode.
Next topic.
You said it was 50. We need to have this conversation.
We
I
will.
said getting
All right.
pregnant is
All right.
50-50.
What more do
It
you want
is. Because
from
you
me?
partook, period. And
Wait,
you knew what the risk was from the
but
beginning.
we're
Okay,
talking about
wait. Getting pregnant is 50-50. You're 100% correct. But
Period.
keeping the baby
It's not 50.
is not 50-50.
But
And
you
you
didn't
know
say
that.
that. Did she say that?
But you know this.
Okay.
You know this, right?
Okay, but it's not 50-50.
So you weren't trapped.
Oh,
'Cause
she's
you know
missing
this.
what we're
She
saying
missed what
right
she's
now.
saying.
She's
Okay.
not- she's
All
not
right.
We're
saying.
gonna
So-
say next topic.
She
We're gonna have this
doesn't
conversation at a different time.
They'll
We
catch
gonna
it.
be.
They'll catch it in the episode though.
Yeah.
God.
All right. So move on.
I
Okay.
can't.
You ever watch
Men
battle rap
always
and you
think
gotta
they got
read
trapped.
it? You gotta read it back. You
Like,
gotta listen to
got
again,
it.
bro.
Right.
You know the risk.
You also know the risk of being a single mother.
I didn't say you don't. Show me where I said you don't.
I'll pull it up receipts from the last episode.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So Stephen A. Smith decided he
want
wanted
to
to
talk
go.
about Stephen A. now. This
Look,
shit is
no,
so
we're gonna
good.
talk.
Fuck Stephen A.,
I
bro.
feel like it's gonna be a short one. All right. So he tweeted the other day talking about I wake up every morning with two thoughts. One, how do I make my bosses more money? And two, how do I get some of it?
Whose Uncle Tom is this?
That's not even Uncle Tom. That's like that's
It's
that's,
actually
that's not
Sambo.
Uncle Tom.
Sambo?
Sambo?
He's
Yeah,
a
it's like,
Sambo.
look, like I'm
You
gonna
know what
come here and make this money.
derogatory
Here's the
slang
money
word
that
I'm looking
here's the money that I worked hella hard for. Here you go. What can I get from that?
My thing is, the first thing I think of when I wake up is,
How do I get off this fucking job?
right. Like, it's today the day I
don't
want to
go.
Like, it's today the day I could quit.
Facts.
Is it time for me to quit
Jesus,
yet?
did my crypto hit?
Like, I really be,
I'm out of here.
I be like, no, we went viral today. I know we went viral. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't think like, oh, how
You
can
said
I
the
make
TikTok
my
version of your
boss
life?
more money?
Damn, nigga, like you don't pray in the morning? Like the first thing you think about is
How do I make my...
My boss's money. You
Like,
skipped
You
your
ain't even,
own
you,
self.
You ain't even gave gratitude for waking up.
yeah. You don't think about what's the weather like today?
You don't
or-
think about breakfast?
yeah, breakfast,
Like,
coffee.
what am I wearing today? Nah. What money am I bringing into my bosses? The fact that you.
What's that?
I'm like, God
What's that
damn,
porn
I
star
gotta work
sound they
again.
use when you're D-sucking? That gawk sound?
The guac guac,
bro.
That boy woke up to the guac guac for his boss.
Gawk, gawk, gawk.
Yeah,
Said that
bro.
he's trying to make that guacamole for the boss.
Oh my god.
Hey, Stephen A. He is profound at destroying like athletes, like he did Kwame Brown, and he does anybody else who's in a bad way in their career. He does a really good job at picking apart people, but it's nice. Did you have some?
No, he did. Pause real quick. Pause.
No, I got it. No, I want to do it
I did
because
too. Yeah.
because
Hey.
hold on. No, let's finish the conversation.
No, we already got him up.
Okay.
Got him up.
Hold
So,
on.
real quick, we're taking
I'm
a little
sorry.
quick little
I'm
quick
sorry.
little cycle,
Hold
half
on.
a second.
Hold on. We gotta take a quick intermission because we have to celebrate
It's
our
not even an
queen.
intermission. It's just a little shot.
It is an intermission. Our But she Steph out. Look, Steph does so much for us on and behind the scenes that we got to celebrate her for who she is, what she brings to the table, and we would not be able to have this podcast without Steph. And she has just been such a blessing to us. So we want to just celebrate her because her birthday is coming up on the
Wednesday the 7th.
What's your cash app?
Steph.net.
Oh, she said that.
Send her some money. But we want to just take a quick little shot for
and pull up in them comments on the YouTube because the YouTube will be dropping on my birthday.
See how much we don't respect Stephen A. Smith? We'll take a shot in the middle of Stephen A. Look at him, he made that face. He made that face.
I don't do the like, that's why.
I know,
I only do it for Steph.
Reposado is usually where I go, but I'm like, you know what?
Steph
was lit.
I'm finna be drunk.
Ooh, my chest is
I ain't got no food in my system like that.
Screenshots. You were so lit, I got screenshots.
Chest is on fire.
I do have a.
You can't trust nobody.
Nah, you can't, because you
Yes, you can. No, you can trust that he's gonna take some screenshots.
She put that lipstick and that makeup and them eyelashes on me.
It be on.
I wasn't paying attention, bro. I was looking.
Oh yeah, she be doing.
I look like that girl Gremlin.
That was just a good little. You know, that was a cute filter.
I got
you. Like the girl Gremlin.
All right, so back to Stephen A.
Yeah, and making his money for the masses.
So you know what? I don't agree with him, but I'm learning to be more understanding. Okay, so with Steph, after we just took the shot, so with Stephen A, what I think people didn't agree with what he said, but I've heard with working in 9-to-5s and corporates, I've heard that if you want to move up, you need to make your boss look good, and then you get promoted, whatever. So I get what he's saying. I just don't agree. The bottom line is that he's in a position where he really don't need ESPN no more.
He don't.
And
that's the problem.
And you should be thinking, how do I build my brand?
That part.
And black business.
You know what I mean?
That part.
And black business. He has his own radio show. He has other things that he has. So now that you are established in that field, you should be thinking of how do I expand me? And how do I help other people get their money up? Because he's in a position where he can hire other black commentators, other people, and get. So that's where my mindset is. I always think of where can I get to, so that way I can help other people get to where they need to get to.
How can I impact the community?
Yes.
Yeah. While I also
he don't impact the community. All he does is tear us down. Bro.
Well, you know what? I don't know what he does outside of being on television, but as a critic, I mean that's kind of his job is to critique. Yeah. So.
That's why I don't get mad at people for doing their job, but I do notice like
niggas get mad at
niggas putting extra on
something. Niggas is content creators at the core, like they putting out content, and that's the shit that's gonna get the clicks. Is the over the top,
the rant,
extra. You know what I'm saying?
The God type shit.
And it's hard because it's like I respect the hustle, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like. Damn, I respect people that really just stand on their square and their morals and their character and stand on that and build
that.
It's
like academics fan.
I don't know.
See, but at the same time, I don't know where Stephen A. came from.
Yeah.
I don't know if he came from poverty. I mean, at the same time, if that's, you're right. You don't have to respect it, but I understand.
Yeah, I understand.
It's you know what? That's some shit that you keep to yourself. You as a black man who's doing some shit, you don't remind people that you got a boss. You don't remind people that you have a boss.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, he had to because Kwame Brown was calling him out about it.
Okay,
so
but
he had to come back and he had to say what he said because Kwame is kicking his ass.
Well, let him keep kicking his ass and shit. I'm not finna post looking like a fucking simp for my boss.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, cause I'll be dead. Cause
kicking his ass,
for real, I when I was working for Sunglass Hut, I didn't wake up in the morning talking about damn how many
glasses can
I sell today? I'm like, look, I don't give a fuck.
No, for real.
Because me selling the glass was not gonna get me really any fucking money.
I look
One
at it
photo
as a
shoot
tool.
was a paycheck.
Like I tell people my 9-to-5 is a tool that I'm using to build my
own business.
my own
Correct.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it. I'm very blessed and grateful to have the job that I have.
Yeah.
But that's what I look at it as. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do what I gotta do because I'm finna use when I get that check. That money is I'm investing back into myself. So that's how I look at it.
Look, my first thought is when I wake up is how can I bring in more money to myself and how can I bring in more money to myself?
That's facts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my dad did tell me in any business, before you touch $1 million, you're gonna make somebody $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
So, but that's just given, right? But you're a multi-millionaire, bro.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm
and
saying? Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's
You don't have to worry about your boss.
you don't have to worry. You are your boss.
How can I make more money from my boss?
Well-
Your boss has got that shit
Well,
covered.
no, you do have a. I mean, he does have a boss.
But he could be his own boss.
He could be his
today.
own boss.
But see, but we talked about that before.
He might have NDAs.
Some
and shit
people
too. He might
aren't
not-
built to be entrepreneurs and to do
Yeah.
that.
Some
Some
people-
people,
that's
some
a-
people
you
like,
you don't gotta
some
be
people
a
like the
S&D
machine
type of nigga.
that's built for them,
S&D.
and they don't want to have to build their own infrastructure to do it, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. And I think we have to realize that not everybody was built to be on their own, have their own entrepreneurship or whatever. But the way I look at it is,
This nigga
whether
woke up praising how he acted.
no, I know whether
That's
I'm
crazy.
working a 9 to 5 or whether I'm working
You
my
need a
own
raise, nigga.
business.
Just say that.
Get himself a raise. I think the
Shit never gave
difference.
me no
I
shots.
think the difference that I see is that whether you are working a 9 to 5 or whether you have your own business, the one constant for me is I take pride in what I do at my job, whether it be for myself or whether it be for my boss. So I'm not waking up thinking, how can I make more money for them? I'm thinking, how can I do the best at
promote?
what I'm doing?
How can I improve my
Have
work?
No, or
business
just am I doing my best whatever I'm doing?
So you can increase your own bag. I don't
Yes.
care if it's for a promotion. Nigga, I never
For
take a
my
promotion. I
for
never
my
take a promotion
family.
for my boss, bro.
But,
For
but,
your
some-
family.
but
Right.
sometimes,
Right. No.
I
like,
never take a promotion
you
for my
got to
boss.
think
I think
about
Klein
it too.
wrote
Like,
one.
not it's about money, obviously, but some people really love what they do, and what they do is about impacting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have people that are social workers, you got people that
That's
do
true.
all kind of different things, and they are very passionate about their work. Sometimes for some people that's the core of it, and for me, I've always felt like I had to do something that I was passionate about, or I ain't gonna want to do it long term. You know what I mean? Like, the money could be cool, but if I don't like what I'm doing, it ain't gonna last that long with me.
See, and I'm even thinking about it from a different perspective. I think the way he worded it was
It's
It
the
was-
word.
it's the
It's
way
the.
he said it.
It's
I
like
think
because
Yeah.
basically what he's saying is if I'm successful, then my success will bring my boss more money.
No. It was the opposite. He was saying,
I know what I'm
if I
saying.
But that's what he was trying to say.
No, that's
Well,
what, I'm saying.
yeah,
That's what he
like,
was trying
yeah,
to say.
alright.
That if he's
Right,
doing
pat
what
my
he's supposed to
wig.
do, then if he's doing what he's supposed to do, then his bosses will make more money from the results of it. But he flipped it.
What he's saying is, if I SMD and my bosses make my money, they're gonna reward me like, good job, yes,
Right.
massa.
Right.
Done good
That's
for
how it
your
came
boss.
off to me.
I's done
It
good for your boss.
hella did.
Like, they might
Hella
throw
did.
me a little
especially
something.
especially when it's like,
Can I
look,
get a
when I
raise?
wake up, not when I'm at work. When I wake up, my
or when
initial
he
thought,
said, or how I could get some of it.
that part. How can I get some of
That
that?
nigga wakes up like ESPN.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, what he's saying, I get what he's trying to say, because if you do make them more money, then you should have more leverage. But at the same time, I've learned in my career that
That
no-
shit don't always happen.
well, they'll find somebody else and pay
Not
them,
even
and they'll pay him cheaper,
Somebody,
and
come on, bro.
they won't remember you for
Come
much
on.
longer after you gone.
Facts. He should have said it more on like, what I wake up every morning with two thoughts. How do I help my company make more money? Two, how can I raise myself up within that company?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not-
that's basically what he said. But I understand
Now,
what
let
you're
me
saying.
get a piece of the pie that I made y'all.
That sounds better.
Right.
Well, but you got to think. You're talking about ESPN and you're talking about Disney. Disney don't care about you.
Yep.
ESPN don't care about you.
They don't need you.
That's what I'm saying. So
They don't need you.
That's
They're
why
not
you
finna.
shouldn't
They're
wake
not finna
up.
promote
That's why
you.
you shouldn't wake up with them being the first thing on your mind.
Right.
No,
Because
but
they
for-
don't give a
but
shit.
for
They don't
him,
give a
he's thinking
damn
that
about
he's
you.
privileged to be in that position.
Well,
and that
say
he's
that.
not
Say
doing
that
as
then.
possible.
Say that.
That nigga still an employee.
guys.
But what you getting versus what they getting, I think Chris Rock said it in one of his stand-ups where he was saying, you know,
There's no sex in the champagne room.
What?
Yeah, that sounds dope.
no, he was saying like, you know, you got the athletes. He was saying like, you know, Shaq is rich, but the motherfucker that signed his
That's
check
paying
is
Shaq.
wealthy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So you technically are just getting a small slice of the pie versus what they making off of you and your likeness. And I feel like the issue we have is we're like, bruh, we have to start seeing our worth, that you making them money, they making money off your likeness. Like, yeah, ESPN is still gonna run without you, but you have the leverage and the power to have your own and not even have to have the middleman. in a
Maybe.
way.
So when
See,
you,
but maybe he doesn't.
So-
maybe he doesn't believe that.
That's true.
so when you just said you know, they can use your likeness. He's not really. It's not. I mean, it's damn near less of him being an employee, but them damn near owning him.
Yeah, they do.
Would you listen?
Because they make more money off of him than he makes more money off of himself.
But he wouldn't be making any money if he wasn't on ESPN.
If he didn't have the platform to get to where
That's
he
what
at,
I'm
and
trying
that's
to say.
true.
Because
It's
I
true.
think that's what people don't take into effect is, yeah, you can do it on your own, but again, so let's use like the music industry. If you sign to Apple Music or you sign to a Warner Brothers, they are giving you the avenue to be seen and the money and the backing and the production.
I'm about to say they're taking all the risks.
I want
Right.
all your.
So as I'm saying,
projects,
so
yeah.
if you did not have that machine, where would you be? Yeah, you might be independent. Yeah, you may be free. Yeah, you may be able to call yourself your own boss, but you also may be broke. So what do you value? Do you
Stephen
value?
A's past the point. He's past the point where he doesn't have a family.
Would you listen to Stephen A. if he was not on ESPN?
Yeah, I probably would.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Don't look at me.
I
honestly,
don't really like Stephen A. to be honest with
I
you.
mean,
period.
but I'm just saying,
I would not
there's
go
a
search
following.
out to go listen to his take.
He already has a following. Because he is controversial and he is the negative guy. People like Stephen A. Smith.
People like negativity.
People like that Stephen A. Smith can get under people's skin so much that
True.
it's content.
But if Stephen A. was only doing that on YouTube and did not have a platform like ESPN or Disney,
he would make way more money if he was doing it on YouTube.
I don't think so.
Hell yeah.
Now because he built it based on their platform.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
right
saying,
now, he
I'm
would make
saying
way
if
more
he
money
just
on
start,
YouTube.
I'm just saying
From the
just
from the
square
bottom.
one, just from the bottom.
We wouldn't know who he was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But he's at a point right now where he doesn't have to wake up gawking ESPN and Disney, bro. He can go to YouTube.
Some people
and make
want
more money.
the security of the 9 to 5.
That's cool.
That's fine.
I ain't mad at it at all.
I'm just saying.
I'm not.
That
that's
tweet
weak
was
as fuck.
still.
That's-
Exactly.
It sounded very like I'm a slave.
It sounded very blue pill.
I'm a
Thank you, Master, for
slave
giving me this money.
for
Now,
you.
can I?
Master, I said thank you, Master.
Kanye West, new slave. All right, we're
Money.
going to go ahead and get on to the trash list.
It's the trash as fuck.
We need to get like a garbage truck sound.
Yeah. Or like a
that.
song or something.
I
Yeah.
could put trash as fuck garbage.
There you go.
Anyway, man, today's trash as fuck is none other than Wendy Williams.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Olympics.
No,
Nope.
it could have been it could be the
could've been
Olympics
that.
too.
I
But
think Wendy.
I think
I feel
Wendy is hella trash. Wendy lives a terrible life for the most part.
Terrible life.
Her personal life is extremely terrible, right?
Yeah.
It really is. Like, you never hear anything good about Wendy's relationships, about her husband, about her sex life, about, you know what I'm saying? Wendy's on she's a serial dater right now. She's got a new nigga every week. Every time I
Ray
hear
J.
about
Yeah,
I'm about to say
talk
Ray
about
J.
Yeah.
Ray J. Fam.
Ray J. wildin'.
What is you doing?
How you go from Kim K to Wendy Williams?
his nigga.
Wendy Williams is shaped like this. Like, come on, son.
No, Wendy Williams has a shape like this. She's got Twizzlers on the bottom, watermelons up top.
Now
Oh,
she walked out looking like Woody. Got the Woody legs from Toy Story.
Right.
Wendy Williams is shaped like the letter P, facing one way, and the number 9 the
Her,
other
her
way.
legs are like Vienna sausages.
Anyway,
Right.
I'm not here to talk about Wendy Williams' alien shape,
I am.
but Wendy Williams is trash because obviously she doesn't have a great life. She's hyper depressed, so I understand that sometimes misery loves company. But she attacked Tabatha Brown for being excited about retiring her husband from the Los Angeles Police Department after 15 years, when this guy is the reason she was able to do what she was able to do for all those years.
Speaking of stable jobs.
You understand what I'm saying? The stability, right? You get a chance to invest in right now because you got your wife's income, right? You got so you guys have a little bit, you know what I'm saying, here and there. I don't have that, so I'm out here risking it all.
Work as a team.
Risking it to
Right.
get the
You got a
biscuit,
team.
you know what I'm saying? I'm a one-man empire out here by myself.
It's me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? two person. I don't know about that. You know who else doesn't know about that anymore? Wendy. So she's hating on Tabatha Brown because she was able to bring. She said it was a dream come true to retire her husband and repay him for all the late night hours, the overtime, the hard work. You know, supporting the house, taking care of the kids, the whole nine, while she was traveling, taking acting gigs, and doing all this other stuff. My problem with Wendy Williams is the projection of the misery on someone who's happy with their decisions. So you're trash as fuck for publicly announcing at how awful a decision this was because it didn't work out for you. But you knew your nigga was cheating the whole time.
Well,
Yes, she knew.
she knew the whole time?
She knew. She knew about the girlfriend. She knew about all the other shit.
Yeah.
She knew. That's the only reason I'm giving her trash as fuck. I'm giving her trash as fuck because why do you want somebody else to be miserable just because you did a miserable job in your own marriage?
Or why you gonna speak failure over their decision.
She did
or what
prophesy
they're doing.
failure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
She's
that ain't going to work. She
projecting,
said, I think specifically she said that their marriage is going to be on rocky ground pretty soon. Don't do that.
Going forward.
Why?
Yeah, don't
Why
do
are you
that.
doing that? Wicked Witch Wendy?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just because your marriage failed don't mean that their marriage.
She
Don't
looks
do
like
that.
Alf.
And
in
it's
the
not.
face.
It's not nowhere near the same.
It's not. It's. You're talking about something that was structurally built, especially
As an agreement.
An agreement, and manifested through prayer and keeping God 1st. When Wendy was only,
Yeah. And Tabitha's husband sacrificed for her, and now she's sacrificing for him. That's what marriage is supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
It's called reciprocity. It's called.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
It would be great for a woman to come up to me and be like, you know what, man, let me retire you. You've been paying for all these bags, these houses. You built all this stuff for me to inherit. You know, it'd be great if you just didn't do anything. I'll be like, you know what, I appreciate you.
But shout out to Tabitha for how she gracefully read Wendy Williams.
Hey.
She gave her a read. Somebody said she gave her a read, but it was the King James version.
She said, this was the coldest part. The coldest part was, I pray love finds you. And that shit hurt.
And she said, I pray that somebody sees you for who you are.
The
Ooh, that's some deep hits.
It was deep.
Boy, I was. I don't think she would. I think there's no response.
Wendy right now is
I was touching and agreeing like, yes. That was a good prayer.
No, that just shows the kind of woman she is. Just grace and class.
Wendy is the Bill Cosby of the talk show world. She is out here using her money as leverage for niggas to come date her. Because
I was like, where you going with this?
If she didn't have a bag, ain't nobody running after that.
Ray J, what are you doing?
Ray
J should have got trash.
Ray J's having a blast, bro. Why? Why should he have trash? He got fun.
That's not fun.
She looks like one of the ones from the Men in Black. He should get trash.
Who, Ray J?
Yeah, Ray J should.
He need to put them glasses back on. the ones that
he gave Charlamagne?
Yeah.
the sun readers?
The Raycons, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Oh, they were the glasses, and then you can see.
Then you can flip them down.
Yeah.
Oh, the ones that.
That's pretty dope. Anyway, I don't like that she wanted them to be miserable and she wanted them to fail just because of her own experiences. When you built yours on nothing except for lies and deceit.
Misery loves company. That's why I tell Candace that if you got any girlfriends, at the beginning of our marriage, when they were girlfriends that were miserable, bitter, that had relationship issues, I said, look, I'm not telling you who to be friends with. I said, but you need to be careful with that one because then they try to bring that shit into your relationship.
And you have to have you got to know your friends, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been in places where shit was not good for me, but that didn't affect how I felt about other people or the advice that I gave them. Or, I mean, I tell you all the time, me and my friends, we always, even when we do give advice, first of all, we don't give advice if each other don't ask for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if we do give advice, it's always with the disclaimer of, well, this is where my perspective coming from.
Yeah.
That ain't, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
a more mature
you got to be
standpoint.
mature
That's the
about
more
it.
But you know what's real? I've known Focus for a long time, and we've talked through both of us going through things. And I can say honestly that we've never encouraged each other to destroy a relationship.
No.
And we've never cast doubt or seed against a marriage or a relationship. As long as I've known him, I've never received like tearing down advice. It's everything we talk about is always about growth and promotion. Yeah. Right. And then. That's how it should be,
and you should keep it real.
Right.
But in that example, and I don't want to go too long because I know we're about to get out of here. I heard phone conversations with questioning what I was doing. Like, oh, you let him do that? Like, why are you doing that for him? Why are you doing that? Like, and after she got off the phone, I was like, you need to watch that. I said because she's trying to sow discord into our relationship. And that's not cool.
It's not cool, bro. But that's why you.
And it's because she was going through her own stuff. So it's like, oh well. I don't know if women do it on purpose.
Nah, man.
I just think it's just you can't look at everybody's situation through your filter.
Through your exactly.
Well,
and
don't
give unsolicited advice. And sometimes too, I ain't gonna blame the person, but sometimes you ain't gotta tell everybody your business. You ain't got to tell your friends all your business. I don't tell everybody all my business or what's going on in my household because a lot of times I don't want outside influence.
No, and then people gonna be looking at him crazy when they see him.
And then you fix it, and then now
you look stupid.
Not even that, just how I run my household or what we doing or the decisions that we making. That's not for everybody to know.
That's true.
Because can't nobody question the decisions you making in your household if you ain't walking around telling everybody.
That's true.
So a lot of shit I just keep to myself. This what we doing in here. That's our business.
No, but that's the biggest lesson you gotta learn in any relationship, man. Well, no one asked. I think what makes Wendy even more tragic. Nobody asked you. Nobody fucking asked you. The idea of this was to be a testimony that Tabatha, it was showing what it looks positive. Like for strength, to be fundamentally together, to be mentally focused, to be spiritually bound, right? When you do something purposefully, and then the plan works as it was planned.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it all comes into fruition. And like I said, with the reciprocity, it's
like how you go down talk like,
how the fuck do you kill a testimony?
Well, and then you try to compare it. Her husband sacrificed for her. Your husband just lived off of you.
Ain't the same. Ain't the same.
He managed. You made him a manager, so you didn't have to pay somebody else.
Yeah, and if he was cheating, you let him do it.
And
you kept paying and giving him the money to do it.
Not only that, but you knew who the other chick was.
So you making it seem like, oh nope, didn't work for me because he was just doing. You were enabling him to do it. As soon as you found out he was cheating, you should have cut him off.
Big old facts.
Come on.
And he should have had his own shit before y'all got married.
I'm just saying, if a nigga's only bringing dick to you, sis, let that hoe go.
And it was just a meme on the first that said.
Nah, they don't just want.
It was a meme on the first that said, if you just paid your whole rent by yourself, I hope you celibate.
That's facts. I always write on my Facebook page, if you ain't getting no.
Wait, what?
If you just paid your whole rent.
If you just paid your whole rent by yourself, I hope you celibate.
Single or are you talking about in a relationship?
Are you talking about a relationship?
No, women, single out here. If you just paid your whole rent by yourself, sis.
If you're single.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you should be paying your whole rent by yourself.
Yeah. I'm just saying
that's called adulting.
I know.
No, that reminds me. No. That reminds me of the dude who was the light skinned nigga with the tattoos talking about like if you ain't cashed app her this week and shit.
That cornball ass nigga.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's like, bro, like you handle your responsibilities. You can't get dick.
The way that I took it was the way that I took
your bills paid is taking dick.
No, the way that I took it is women be literally single, paying their own bills, their own rent, all that, and low key be in a relationship, a situationship with somebody, and letting somebody dictate what they doing. Like, why? This nigga's not.
I understand what you're saying, but if you're single,
you should be.
You better be paying all your own shit.
Oh yeah.
The thing I don't like about comments like that is then it makes it seem like if I am paying your rent,
then I'm supposed to. You're supposed to do what the fuck I'm saying.
I'm owed to sex. No, I
mean,
know.
that's what it sounds like.
No, but that's what it sounds like. Saying that's what comments lead to. With some people will.
If I'm paying your rent,
if you paying your own rent, then you celibate. But if I'm paying your rent, then you better spread them legs.
That's facts.
That's how some niggas be thinking.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now.
Why would you pay somebody rent and you're not in a relationship?
Exactly. Exactly. See, woman's logic sometimes it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
I just said.
That comment gets trash as fuck. That meme gets trash as fuck.
You can't be out here giving away your body.
Right.
To just anybody. That's what y'all always say,
but
right?
No, we agree.
But we totally agree with you. But the cost of getting your rent paid, you're probably going to be giving up your body. That's the cost. That's what it costs. We've been talking about accountability and cost all day. You want your rent paid, you about to be letting the nigga smash. If you're not in a relationship, he's smashing.
That's just like the chick, that clip. That she was like, oh, if we break up, I expect him to still maintain my lifestyle.
What's wrong with you?
It's like, no, you get the lifestyle because you were with me.
You get the lifestyle with the dick. The dick is a part of the lifestyle.
It's a package deal.
It's a package. This dick is automatic.
If you and your kids a package deal, this dick and this money is too.
Run the play, Sally Mae.
Y'all ain't shit.
Let's go, bro. I don't know why these chicks feel like I'm video chatting you. Send me some money. Nah, sis.
Nah.
Video chat.
I can call somebody else a video chat with somebody right now if I really want to.
I can have somebody come right now.
Right. What the fuck you mean? Do you know who I am?
All right, y'all. We about to get out of here.
Right.
I'm about to finish taking this shot.
These niggas only had 2 shots of tequila and they
because she didn't make Cause girls say shit like that. You ain't my nigga because you ain't paying my bills. Well, I'm not smashing.
I'm not smashing.
So I'm not paying your bills.
Happy birthday, Steph. We about to get up out of here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff.
That's the cold
and
clip
we
right
will,
there. The whole podcast.
We will see y'all. We will see y'all for episode number 31. All right.
Millions.
Billions. Cheers.
Let's go. You just let's go. Let's go. Let's go.